rather than asking your thoughts on the match, which I think would probably echo Jack's, I'll ask you your thoughts on the three-man commentary.
Oh, you saw me now. I got the down, man. That fat fuck.
Hello, and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews, and reimagines the worst of wrestling past. I, as ever, am joined with my brothers in paint. To my left, Sam Chan.
Hello.
And to my immediate in front of me.
Immediate in front of you.
Jack Chan.
Hello.
And I am your host, Ben Chance, and it is episode 14 of our wrestling podcast. But what are we reviewing today? Well, we're heading back to the year 2000, bro. As we look.
I swear to God, bro.
Listen, bro.
And that is not a swerve. It is Vince Russo's WCW and its story arc of Sting and Vampiro.
Go back to the first one.
Go back to the first ever episode.
Comes around.
Did you enjoy traversing 2000?
In a sick way, yes.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
Take that as a no.
It was
Strange.
Interesting.
colourful.
You can tell why we don't watch WCW at this point.
So, Jack, have you had a good day today?
No.
I wonder why.
Well, on this day, I see clearly that we're in the playoffs.
Yes. West Bromwich Albion just putting the worst performance I've ever seen.
I don't know, there's still that Bolton game.
Well, I would.
Yeah, but you won, but still, it was shit.
Yeah, we were awful, and we drew with Ipswich. So if we sound depressed, we are.
Apart from Sam.
Except for Sam.
I don't know, my bet lost. So.
well, that's just a standard Saturday for Sam.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You've had a drink, so you'll be alright.
Now I'm sobering up, so that's probably why I said depressed.
So, the year of 2000. Well, we're heading to start our story arc on the 10th of April 2000. But what was topping the pop charts on the 10th of April 2000? Well, it was in the UK. Craig David with Phil Neal, and as someone who's seen him in concert, that was the peak of his career.
Oh, good lord!
So over the pond, America's top. Over the pond,
Top next model.
over the pond, topping the charts in the US was Maria by Santana. Much better song than Phil Neal by Craig David, but which will end the episode. Stay tuned. Jack, if they don't want to check out those two number one offerings, what offerings do you have for them today?
Well, before I get to the albums that were released around this time, you can have another song to listen to if you require. If you,
Okay.
If you want to. If you don't, then don't. It was number 19 in the UK chart when Fill Me In was number 1.
Wow.
At number 19, we were told to Bag It Up by Jerry Halliwell.
Oh!
That one.
Yeah.
Remember that?
No, you know.
I remember it. I don't remember them lyrics. If you could call them lyrics.
That's what it was. But on the album front, there are 4 albums.
Okay.
Good on a caring man. We have By Now, Saved Later by Holy Man.
Holy Man.
Who, Sam will know these because I keep playing them the song. The song 1 Minute Silence features on ECW Anarchy Rules.
Yes.
See what I've done there?
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yes.
The next album is In Blue by The Cause.
Okay, dropping the chorus. Leave me breathless.
2000. That's on it.
It was a different time.
Bro.
Great,
Bro. The next album is Binaural by Pearl Jam.
Oh, you gotta get your boys
This
in.
is gonna win the poll.
So vote for that one. Or the last album is a band, if you can call them that I have seen in concert.
Oh God, I know this.
7 by S Club 7.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
That is awful. Head over to Twitter at BCC Pod to drop your vote now, and those reviews will be on our website, which is bettercallcreative.com, along with previous reviews and
Blog.
and blogs from Jack. So head over to there now for all those goodnesses.
And nothing from Sam.
Nothing from Sam.
I'm on the reviews.
However, as well, in the world of gaming, Jack, and I'm sure you'll be posting a review of one of these two games, released around April, was Pokemon Stadium on the Nintendo 64, along with Ridge Racer 64. So, again, look out for a review in the future.
Yes.
However, it is now time
To roll.
to head over to WCW 2000. As we look at Sting versus Vampiro. So, the world of 2000. At this time, Eric Bischoff had been brought back into WCW, I believe, and was getting involved in story arcs. But
With his Jay Leno away.
he's white hair. But yeah, the book was with Vince Russo.
Bro.
Yeah. Previous magazine writer for the WWF. And managed to convince Vince McMahon that he knew something about booking. And they got too big for his boots and left the World Wrestling Federation for WCW. And this is what we got: Sting versus Vampiro. The build up to this on the 20th of March, Nitro. Lex Luger beat Vampiro. Lex Luger was heel at this time. Important to be aware, yes. But Lex Luger beat Vampiro thanks to outside interference from Flair, who was in a tag team with Luger called the Total Packages or something like that.
Total Packages.
Something like that. And Sting...
The second class packages.
The attempted delivery. Return to sender.
And Sting made the save to help Vampiro. And Vampiro made the save for Sting later on in his match with Flair. And then on Thunder, Vampiro would beat Disco Inferno, WCW.
Wow.
And Sting would then save him again from a 2-on-1
Disco Inferno?
Not from the Disco Inferno, from Luger and Flair.
The same.
Vampiro and Sting would then beat Luger and Flair in the following Nitro. And this was its spring break Nitro.
Spring break.
If you get a chance to watch this, I know this wasn't part of it, but Luger gets hit with an inflatable in this. He sells it.
Is it an inflatable peanut or a sheep?
Is it like Supermarket Sweep?
He does his proper.
How much was it
He does his proper
£250.
Luger sell.
He always has to sell something.
What a man.
And then on Thunder, Vampiro now backs the new regime and goes to a no contest in the main event with The Wall.
That's the main event.
That's the main event.
Who's the face? The Wall.
Vampiro.
Vampiro, but he did back the new regime, yes. So then Nitro and Thunder went on hiatus for a week. So there was just like best ofs. And that takes us to April 10th.
Best of, basically. I think they kind of knew what was going to happen.
Well, they stripped all the titles, didn't they?
Yeah,
that was what they did do.
Yeah.
So April 10th, Nitro opens up with Russo and Bischoff, who launch the show and lambast all the old talent and back the new blood of the WCW. And Vampiro is in the ring with all the heels.
Yeah.
So we assume he is now heel. And now Luger and Flair are
right, okay.
Is it there and all?
Brian
Knobs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The new blood. Brian Knobs.
He's a champion.
Oh, he's the
I think he was only there to be stripped.
No, oh God, no. But he's happy when they're burying Hogan.
Yeah.
He's still there, happy and like applauding him.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have a job, mate. Yeah. So Russo and Bischoff strip all the champions, including Double J,
Did you see La Parker try and get out of the way of the camera?
Yeah.
When he go around and see La Parker talk.
I like the fact that Parker was one of the new guys.
Yeah, that's what I liked.
So yes, and it launches a tournament, a one-night tournament to crown the number one contender for the WCW Championship, which is vacant.
Yeah.
But
It's
Double
number
J,
2 contender.
Yeah. But Double J.
I've got a feeling Jarrett might get a bit of a push in his new era.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder why. So it's a 4-man tournament comprising Sting and Sid Justice and DDP and Luger. DDP beating Luger to advance to the finals.
Yes.
Sting would then beat Sid. I don't know whether either of you watched that match, but it was the most 90s match ever.
Did Barry Windham get dragged out dressed as Sting?
It was so 90s. So Sting gives a backstage interview with Mean Gene and says he'll take out Double J at Spring Stampede, and that leads us to our main event. Double J is on commentary for the match. And DDP and Sting go at it. Sting gets the upper hand and hits a splash and goes for a deathlock early on, but DDP snags the bottom rope. They go at it again, and Double J messes with Kimberly outside, so DDP rolls outside to get involved in this, and this allows a attack from Vampiro, who hits the final nail in the coffin. Is it?
That's the
Nail
nail in the coffin.
Which wipes out
Mission
Sting.
Good driver.
Did you see the really bad clothesline as well?
It was all bad, really.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get
easily
to one, I
clumsy.
think, but
It was really clumsy,
it
but
was
yes.
clumsy.
So Vampiro wipes out Sting with the nail in the coffin, and DDP limps back in the ring and gets the 3 count to advance to face Double J. In about a 5-minute match.
Yeah, very short.
DDP and Sting at this point are
I don't know,
probably
in this run, that's probably the longest match.
Probably, yeah.
DDP and Sting at this point are probably 2 with sort of 3 or 4.
So, the
main,
biggest ones that actually get a reaction.
So you would imagine that they would have a top quality main event match. I'll leave it to you first, Jack. What was your thoughts on this match?
It was bad. There was no real heat when they had a face off at one point and they come to blows, and there was no real heat from the crowd.
No.
I don't think anybody knew who to cheer. You'd think, because you look at the roster and the 2 main faces that people would hang their hat on are probably Sting and DDP, and they've produced a dog turn, really, and then the finish was weird, and I don't really know. Why has Vampiro turned on Sting?
No one really knows. Nobody knows.
Why does he no longer like him? I don't know. But
It's a swerve, bro.
He's new blood, bro.
Sam, I'll rather than ask you your thoughts on the match, which I think would probably echo Jack's, I'll ask you your thoughts on the 3-man commentary.
Oh, you saw me now. I got them down, man. That fat fuck. I put him over once. I put him over once. But that immediately changes later on. I tried to tune him out, and when I saw that he wasn't even commentating, out of the 3, he was the one that got took out. So, thank God. Maybe there's hope. And hope died on the
It
next
was me with Double J.
Jarrett
Hudson
and
Shivani,
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck you, man.
I think it was Stevie
Fuck
Ray.
you, man.
So our feud is built, and Vampiro is
What, me
turned on. You and Madden. That's got more build at this point than Sting v Vampiro.
Oh, we've already had it.
Well, it's built in the fact that Sting now is angry at Vampiro. That's basically it. And we don't know why Vampiro is angry at Sting, but maybe we'll learn. On Thunder, which we didn't watch, Sting would beat...
I wonder why.
Well, Sting would win a 3-on-1 match against all 3 Villains.
One of them, Jerry.
One of them's Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
Who's in the main event?
Jesus
So
Christ.
he's going to be the world champion, and he couldn't win with 2 Villanos.
To be fair. It was Cusin.
Which one was it? Milano 3 and 4? Well, was it Milano
I
6
think it
and
was
3?
3, 4 and 5, but obviously one of them was Jarrett anyway.
Who played all them Delano?
I don't know, but this was for him to
I don't know,
advance.
in Mexico, it's probably like the Shield.
This was for him to advance. What's V in
in Spanish.
No, in Spanish. They're going to come out with V.
that help?
V's Victor.
Victor, Indigo.
Lima.
Oh, I've had enough now.
Anyway,
that was to advance in the US title tournament at Spring Stampede, which begs the question.
So if the Villanos won, would there be... So there'd be an extra 2. So there'd be a 10-man tournament for the US.
Maybe they just class
Bollocks.
they're all one champion. All 3 can hold one single belt.
They would all compete.
They would all
compete. Says one.
3-bird rule.
Brilliant. So, heading forward to Spring Stampede 2000, and in our opening match of the night for Sting, anyway, he would face Booker T in the US title tournament. This is an 8-man tournament, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which begged how many matches were on the Spring Stampede?
Yeah, because you had the 8-man tournament for the US, you had a 4-team tournament for the tag. You had the hardcore match, which was for the top.
There were 7 matches in the US tournament.
Yeah, you had like a multi-man match for the cruiserweight, which is sort of a sign of things to come. And you had the world title match as well, do you?
Yeah.
We had this on video.
There was a lot of matches.
Was it a double video? Or
No, it was on its own. We had that in Slamboree.
So, Booker T versus Sting is our opening match for Sting in the tournament. Trash talk starts between the two, and Sting gets the advantage, and they brawl instantly to the floor, where Booker, and I stress he is now called Booker, because he's recently lost the rights
to
T. That's why they call him Booker. To Ahmed Johnson. Where Booker gets control, and then
have you been G.I. Bro yet?
No, but we get a chin lock, like a rest hold for a minute of a 5-minute match. Fantastic.
We're going to break. This is pay-per-view.
Sting escapes, but gets scissor kicked, and then Sting comes back with a Stinger splash, and he blocks a side kick, but reverses it into a spine buster, and then into a death drop for the pinfall at 6 minutes and 34. So Sting advances, and a tiny bit of his paint has weared away. And that's
you always had a little bit of flake.
Every round is paint.
Yes, he's doing brilliantly. At least his paint come off when he was under that thing when they was doing the Seth Rollins statue. His paint come off on his brain.
He's got a really sweaty forehead. The announcers yell and scream, "What a great match it was!" So, Jack, do you agree? Was it a great match?
Not really. I mean, again, this is a match that you'd expect with the 2 players in it. Especially Booker, who's sort of
hate
positioned.
Hate the booking.
Hate the match.
Hate the booking, that's what it is.
Well, I mean, he's on the up and being considered for a top position in the company. And they really feel like he was a top star.
Although I suppose maybe giving him it's a lengthy match for WCW with Sting.
It's longer than the last one.
Yeah, it's longer than most matches. Sam, thoughts on this match?
He wore that, to be honest.
Yeah, it was just a throwaway match.
Yeah, it was. We need to get through this tournament quite quick. We've only got 3 hours. Remember what happened at Halloween?
True that. So Kidman would face Vampiro, 2 heels.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
look. Yeah. So Kidman versus Vampiro. He'll be heel in a first round match or a quarter final match. Vampiro gets a couple of clotheslines to start and then hits a missile drop kick for 2. Kidman comes back with a Hurricane Rana and then gets power bombed and starts doing the 10 punches in the corner. Vampiro hits a pair of suplexes for a 2 and a choke slam, but Kidman reverses the nail in the coffin with a face jam. Which is, I think, is like a face planter. Vampiro goes into the kick combo, which he does throw out, and he does then.
The weird
kick thing.
I don't really get that with his character.
And an armbar, but Kidman counters with a DDT. Oh, and now we get the running. Now we get the running from Orange Goblin himself, Hulk Hogan.
I'm sure it's a running.
He staggers to the ring and he beats him around the ring for about 4 minutes.
This guy looks strong, brother.
Literally 4 minutes.
I'll put over Kidman, brother.
He's just destroyed him.
You bollocks.
The biggest match with 7 other people there.
Oh,
was he in his fun battalion? I can't remember this.
He slammed him through. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he slammed him through the table.
I
got a big white shirt. I think.
Yeah,
in this.
Yeah. I've got a feeling he's not going to be going on about slamming Kidman through a table instead of slamming on.
Yeah. I slammed Kidman once.
I slammed Kidman and he ripped all the muscle. Brother.
But yeah, he slams him through a table. They don't DQ. I mean, I know that sort of kayfabe it by they'll allow it to be.
Yeah, under the new regime, the refs are a bit more lenient. No, it ain't. Nobody knows the rules. That's what it is, bro.
But he rolls him into Vampiro, who gets a 3 count at the 8 minute 28.
Good lord, he's quite longer.
Well, yeah, because 4 minutes of it is Hogan.
Hogan. I'm going to be featured, brother.
I'll just give you very quickly what I thought. This was probably the best match of the 3 we've watched so far, up until the point that Hogan ruined it all and made it absolutely shit. So, Jack, over to you.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, them two worked all right with each other. The chemistry was there, but like you say, when Hogan comes out and just Supermans for about 5 minutes, you just think, this Kidman as well. I mean, you've only got to punch him. Well, that's it.
Yeah. I agree.
Awful.
Okay, Hogan.
So this actually sets up our first one-on-one encounter between Vampiro and Sting.
Nothing like blowing through the story.
I know, yeah.
The end of this feud.
I'll touch upon it here. Vampiro's music. I always have an issue with WCW anyway with music, and especially around this time when there's so many characters. I don't think that music suited his character at all. Did you like it?
Is this the actual one that they had? Because I know they dubbed it there a few times.
I don't know. I mean, I watched it through the network.
Because I'm sure when I watched it, they had 3 themes. He had 3 themes.
They did change it when the Dark Carnival.
Well, when he was the Dark Carnival, then he had his proper one.
But the proper one is the one that's here, the proper one.
Well,
is it?
Okay, so now we had conversation, but let us know if you agree with Jack or me. I thought it was terrible. So there you go.
I don't mind it.
We head over to our semi-final match between Vampiro and Sting, our first one-on-one contest between these new feuding pairs. There's a slugfest to start it off, and Sting gets over doing some basic kicking with... There's a spot where he goes to kick Vampiro, doesn't really connect, but Vampiro bounces backwards and really oversells it. Awful. And he hits a flying splash for a 2 off the top rope. He hits a splash and gets a 2. So outside we go, with Sting missing a splash.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of brawl outside.
Outside for a bit.
Vampiro kicks him and back inside. Sting doesn't seem to be cooperating with Vampiro. When he sort of sets him up for something, he slams him, goes to the top. But Sting doesn't really know what's happening, and Vampiro just gets it down and just starts kicking him.
Yeah, the announcers try and cover it, don't they?
Yeah.
I start thinking, what?
Then they say like, he's not in position, so Vampiro's got on to get about position, even though Sting's up.
It was weird. It's really weird.
Put Sting over to say they're meant to be. Well, obviously Shivani's going to.
Shivani puts everything over there, and it's the greatest moment in the
darkest moment. On a sidewalk slam.
Even though it's a splash.
But anyway, Vampiro does eventually get Sting to cooperate and lay down and goes up, but it leads to a flying nothing, and he misses. Sting then hits a death drop and a scorpion deathlock for a submission win over the Vampiro at the 5 minute 57 mark. Having watched this match, how would you ever believe that Vampiro is a credible threat to Sting?
Well, there you go.
But yeah, I'll give it over to you. 2 thoughts on that match?
It was, you know, if you just took this match and said, shall we run with a programme with these two, you'd have gone, fucking hell no, because it was really bad. They had no chemistry whatsoever. No. Sting looked like he couldn't be asked to work with Vampiro. Vampiro looked like he couldn't be asked to work with Sting.
Yeah, he looked terrible. Sad.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, why?
What the fuck's the commentary as well? Because they sort of break like the fourth wall and say like people overselling. Madden says he's overselling at one point off a shoulder block. And it's like, well, what am I doing here? Am I trying to believe that it's a work and you sort of saying no, it's not real, or are you saying it's a work, or what? What's the direction they're going?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of criticism at the moment either about the fourth wall being broke by Becky and Ronda, but at the very least, they're trying to keep it within storyline by saying, yes, we know it's fake, but this is real.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I know it's not ideal. You don't really want the fourth wall being broken, but if it works to make some people think, okay, we all, because everyone knows it's not real.
Yeah.
So, but if people look and think, well, that's not real, but we think this is real, then that gets that over. So I can deal with that.
Yeah.
When you're doing it mid-match, oh, that ain't real. That ain't real. Oh, what's that?
You keep watching.
It doesn't make any sense.
So this is pay-per-view. People have bought this.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I completely agree with you.
Sure, if people hadn't bought this, they'd have turned it over.
Well, having seen
I've paid for this. I'm going to watch it.
Having seen 3 matches, I would prefer to have seen a Vampiro Kidman feud than a Kidman Hogan feud.
Featuring Hogan.
And a Sting Vampiro.
With Horace. Horace is
Horace
Oh,
Hogan, not Hulk.
Yeah. Right, so
we're nearly finished.
yeah, nearly over.
Over Spring
This
Stampede.
is the start.
Yes.
Well, that was a dot.
So we're into the finals, and Scott Steiner faces Sting. Steiner's still got Steiner eyes.
Gosh, really?
I think that's a dub. I don't think he had that. I think it's a dub.
Sting was almost exactly the same.
They've got his theme on everything else, so I'm sure that's his theme.
And if this is the dubbing, why don't I just dub in WWE's theme?
I don't know, because I'm pretty sure he still had that. I don't think he had Steiner.
I'm sure he had Steiner.
Well, either way, it was better to see a big muscly heel Steiner shouting and swearing at the crowd to Steiner ass! Fabulous! And his muscles. I mean, I know it's like so common knowledge about his muscles, but they are the ugliest things I have ever seen.
They are that big, when he does these pose, his muscle ain't like up here, it's up like a little...
Just like a little mound of shit. It was Sting cuts a promo just before the match. Sting's promos. Baby! What are you doing, baby?
Like the aces and surfacing promos.
His promos are shit. They are
the best.
They're shit.
They are the best. Oh, we'll get to one of his promos.
Oh,
and he's out the promo, he says, look.
Well, his promo here, he's got no painters in here enough.
No,
again,
it's got a level 2 loss of...
He hadn't put a second coat on. If you only have one coat, it flakes off. You got to put 2 coats on.
The only thing with Sting is he doesn't have sweaty eyes.
Was it just his eyes?
What else at this point? He's got like a paint sunglasses. And Mark Madden, your favourite person, says that 3 matches, 1 night. This is insane. For Sting and Steiner because they've had 3 matches. I just thought,
in general, 3 matches, 1 night. It's a pay-per-view. Fucking man.
Steiner on his way out says, "Up yours," and he ate shit when he's fighting with Sting early on. I just love Scott Steiner. Such a heel.
This is the one where they did the 80s thing where started getting them like doing the boo yay and they get on the top.
They do some sort of power shit at the start and all that sort of
Started just does the up yours.
Yeah, exactly. And Sting knocks him off, and it's what I know is called a pescado over the top, which is the where he flips over and lands arse first on.
Well done. I don't know that.
Yeah, pescado. I learnt it.
Yeah, and a shirt.
Flying splash, but Steiner gets his knees up and Steiner takes over the match, and he stops to yell at the fans a few times and shouts at someone in particular in the front row who turns out to be a woman who just wasn't interested, telling him to piss off.
They look frightened, don't they?
What some of them do.
Jesus Christ, mate.
Stinger comes back with a Stinger splash, but we get a bump of the ref, and then Vampiro pops up from what was obviously a trapdoor in the ring.
The most perfect square in the ring.
It's just really neat.
Yeah, it's really neat, and it's just funny when you watch the match after, because they just won't put the thing up. They're like tape around it, so you just don't want that bit.
Well, why is that not the main event if you're going to do that spot? I mean, WWE wouldn't do that.
WWE broke the ring before the Cena Alberto
match.
But
that was the last man standing, so it sort of fit.
Yeah, at least it fit
the
storyline.
That's true.
Do it before a rumble, would you?
So Vampiro drags Sting straight to hell. But if that wasn't enough, They then make it even more sort of B-movie-ish.
Oh, with
when
the smoke.
They pull up the bit of the smoke and then Sting emerges with a bit of red sauce.
Jam sandwich.
Explaining he's probably had a tough go.
Terrible.
Couldn't he at least bladed and had a bit of blood coming from his head?
Obviously, he must not have wanted to blade because I mean, he literally
He's got the perfect bit because he's the
Yeah,
paint's got the blade.
He's bladed over his paint
Couldn't
before.
they just get some fake blood and rub it on him?
why did I just cover him in blood?
Yeah, why put it on his
Just cover him all in blood.
It's not blood, it's red.
Oh, it's red. The red.
Look, when we get later on, the red.
Oh, we'll
And Shivani says it's so enthusiastic.
The red! But Sting emerges with the red on his face.
No, from his lip.
Well, from his lip. And
He probably bit his lip. That's all he's done.
and falls easy prey to a chin lock from Scott Steiner.
I don't know, I
Called
think
this? What's it
Steiner
called?
recliner.
Steiner
I
recliner.
don't know, it looked like
Terrible,
Sting
yeah.
was just asleep.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Steiner was like, yeah, he's getting up.
The Steiner recliner's awful. It
It
doesn't
is
even
terrible,
look like
To be
it.
fair,
the chair.
from what I
Yeah.
understand, he only did that because he couldn't do the Frankensteiner anymore.
Yeah.
And to be honest, would you want to take a Frankensteiner from him?
I've seen some bad ones.
Exactly.
For a submission win at 5 minutes 32. I put here another bad match.
Yeah.
And also there's still a match to come. Fuck this shit for Spring Stampede. But of course we don't need to watch.
We don't need to watch that.
So I'll throw over to you, Jack. Thoughts on this match?
Terrible. It was very bad. I mean, it was 5 minutes, but most of it was took up by Steiner just calling people fat in the crowd and flipping them off. And then fat! And then when they do like
You
a
got
couple of
this
moves.
about it.
And then Sting with this sauce around his face. It's just absurd.
With his red.
It was just bad.
It was
Just
bad.
get it out of the way, put the title on Steiner and get out of there.
This watching it back, I mean, when we had it on video and watched it, I thought it wore too bad.
It was a
Never
child
stood
then.
back. Yeah, we were young and naive.
were
Then
young
you watch
and
it back and
stupid
go,
then.
"My God, this is shit."
I think when you watch it for the purposes of review as well, it makes you think, goodness me, this is crap.
It makes you think, I'm going to turn this off and come back in a week to watch this. I need a week off for watching this. Because the amount of shit we've watched already, we've only got 2 shows in.
It gets worse, though.
Exactly.
It gets worse. So Vampiro and Sting are now knee deep in a feud. Vampiro has
Even though
got
they've already had sort of a blow off.
match, yeah. But yeah, Vampiro has attacked Sting and made him a bit red. So we go to April 17th Nitro, which wasn't part of our review, and Vampiro cuts a promo on Sting, who drops from the ceiling and hits a death drop on Vampiro. That was that episode.
What?
Vampiro sold.
See, now,
So
when you
Vampiro
watch Jim Cornette's, obviously, because he hates Russo, which is funny. But when he goes on about, like, obviously Taker Kane, and they had like bad blood when Kane beat Taker up, he tombstoned him. Russo wanted Taker to get his revenge the next night, and that's because obviously Vince wanted it for Mania. That's when Jim Cornette had a go at him, saying, "Well, we've got 5 months. What else are we going to do?"
Yeah.
This is kind of proof that.
Everything-
If you let him loose on this,
But
all
every
them
match-
storylines would have been
I
good.
mean, every single week had an ambulance match, or,
Oh, I know,
or it was.
this?
I've
was
never known anything like this booking.
Was it 2000 that Nitro you said where they had like about 3 turns and about 600 gimmick matches?
When we get to the House of Pain, that's the night.
That Nitro was, oh god, that's terrible.
Yeah. And if that sounds bad enough, this is quite kooky of a Nitro, isn't it? Because
The first red
this is April 20th. April 24th Nitro. Yeah.
first viscous
Early in the show, Sting and Vampiro sort of open up the show
by
brawling.
they had a match.
By brawling.
Oh.
Now, the best bit of this, without a shadow of a doubt, and you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Is when Vampiro eventually gets up and lays out Sting with a pipe. And they burst through the curtain where Bam Bam's in shots. Just to walk off. This is up next in the match.
Oh, it's
Vampiro just walking around.
like a coffee or something. Still have his jumper over his gimmick.
Oh, but that was so funny. But yeah, so Vampiro laid out Sting with a pipe. Later on, Sting is shown looking for Vampiro, and Sting comes out and attacks Candido after his match.
Oh, Candido?
Do you know who he was fighting?
Is it Prince?
Prince Iake.
Prince
Do you know what his gimmick was?
Prince
gimmick.
Swing
Fabulous.
both ways. Who cares?
That's alright.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
That's right, yes. That's the heat of that angle got. Sting wants Vampiro and challenges him later in the match to a first
red match. First viscous fluid.
It's the first blood match. He does say the word blood.
Because it's Monday, Nitro! And I figure since you are Vampiro, the vampire, why don't we just make this match a first blood? Oh, hang on! See you in a while, man! A challenge to Vampiro to come out here tonight is wrestling a first blood match!
Because he says, I put here, I hate Sting promos because he says a first blood match. It really makes me angry how he does his promos because he takes all. There's no way you would believe that he cares because it sounds like he's taking the piss.
It sounds like he's in a town hall wrestling the show.
He's just got to get through this feud. So I'll get through it and then I'll get to someone else.
But then you've got Vampiro in a segment later with Mean Gene where he accepts it, and his promo's worse. It's awful.
Challenge from Sting. He wants a first blood match here tonight. Do you accept?
Sting, I know you're watching. You are so weak. You are so old. You're so whack. There's nothing more than I would like to do to stick my fingers in your eye and watch you bleed like a stuffed pig, hear you scream like a little bitch. You're entering my world, and I am sick, and I am twisted, and I'm a little freaky, and I'm about to have a panic attack. I can't stand things like this. Sting, like the spider said to the fly, come. Come into my web, boy.
He's so bad. He's like, you bro, yeah. I don't like you, Sting, man. But
he's very
not really
quiet.
Yeah, he doesn't suit the gimmick.
He's trying to be creepy, but it just comes off as he's not arsed.
Yeah.
Is this the one where he says he's having an anxiety attack?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah,
and then he goes on about the spider said to the fly, come into my web.
Oh no, he isn't.
That's later on.
He says weird things like that, doesn't he? Because he goes, curiosity killed the scorpion. No, he didn't. The cat.
Ernest Miller. Are you trying to get Ernest Miller in this feud?
Oh, it's awful. And then later on, randomly, Sting is just shown in the rafters. Just during
why did he go up there to then come back?
Well, I know why. Because he fights in a shield jacket.
Oh, yeah. That's just reminded me. So on one of these, I've just put Shield Sting. I thought, why have I put that?
This is it.
This is the match where Vampiro comes out. Sting descends from the rafters, but it takes so long. And that Vampiro just has to kind of creepily keep looking around like that, acting as if he can't see that Sting is just there trying to unhook himself.
Looks more like he's surfing.
It's awful, and it is creepiness. But anyway, he goes outside and starts kicking Sting towards the ring. Sting gets the upper hand with some kicks of his own, and then kicks him to the floor. And an outside
brawl outside.
Yes.
What a shot.
There's some really bad selling here from Vampiro. He just sort of bounces around. But Vampiro gets back in and they exchange blows, and he goes for Sting's eyes. Sting suplexes him and starts to stomp, and then tosses him to the floor again. Sting is in the ring, and then. I mean, it's so conveniently placed, isn't it?
Yeah,
the referee's trying to get out of the way. Yeah,
I always thought the ref got out of the way. It just made me laugh that the ring come on and he just took a bump from somebody. Poor Charles.
Yeah, so they drop the blood bath, but it is. I mean, it's a vicious bath. It's aggressive.
I mean, I know the bloodbath that Gangrel did, but at least they had the light so you couldn't see it. When you could see it, because they do it again later on, although with Flair and Russo in the cell match.
It was, but it was just this big, huge gunge. He got guns.
Nickelodeon.
So yeah, he was covered in red. I don't know whether this meant that he lost the match, because they didn't really officially say
Vampiro throw blood on your opponent.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. Is this a no contest?
Yeah, I think it's a no contest first red match.
Yeah.
Can it still bleed?
Yeah. It sounds the most Russo booking ever, really, doesn't it?
You've got to make your opponent bleed. So if I put blood on you, does that mean you've won?
I don't know.
Because you've not made him bleed, you've just put blood on him.
But it gets even more bizarre now because he's so slippy in the ring.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of slipping about.
Vampiro starts to try and beat up Sting, but they're both sliding around. And then he just sort of gives up and calls for some other people to come out. One of which is Steiner, who wants nothing to do with it. So he just walks out and starts shouting at the crowd as other members, I think Buff Bagwell,
Candy, basically the ones that have got stories in the new blood.
New red. And then they start to beat up Sting. They slam Sting, and Sting is wiped out, and that's the end of the show.
Well, they put him on the harness.
Sorry, yeah, they do. They put him on the harness.
Oh, he's like a bloody pinata.
Yeah, and that's the end of the Nitro, isn't it? That is the closing shot.
And then you got the Thunder after.
I don't know whether I liked it or not. I suppose it was at least it felt like Nitro had a proper cliffhanger ending in the fact that he was hung and covered in blood. It gets better because I've mentioned what happened on Thunder.
I know.
I've saw what happened on Thunder.
But I'll just before we get to Thunder, thoughts on this match. Sam, go on. I'll let you go first.
It's a fucking feud. Why have you got having them fighting every week? Why would I
care? Your problem with this is that they had a match, not that he covered himself in red shit.
Well, red shit. Yeah, the vicious red thing. But still, I mean, you could have had Sting in a match against somebody else and had that happen.
Yeah, I agree.
To build up the feud.
Well,
even though they've already had about 3 matches already.
It doesn't look like Vampiro really is a massive threat, other than I suppose they're trying to get over his supernatural shit that he's got control over these things now. Jack?
Well, the match itself was shite. The build to it throughout the show was worse. The finish was even worse than that.
Would you say the MVP in this was Bam Bam?
So far, yeah, because he knew to just walk off. Well, the only bit...
Could we be 4 or 5 segments in? Bam Bam! The MVP's Bam Bam for being shot.
For getting out of shot. That's why it's the MVP. I didn't mind the visual of him hung up, and I didn't mind Vampiro doing his
visual,
sort of Jesus pose in the blood in the ring, which wasn't that bad.
That was basically all for the promo package, for the pay-per-view. That's all it was.
To get to them moments, what they had to go through to get to them was awful.
They could have just done this in one segment. It didn't even need to be a match. It could have been one segment where he attacked him, covered him in blood.
He could have come on.
You just have Vampiro on the stage, Sting in the ring.
Austin versus Taker. Did they have to have Austin versus Taker to get Taker on the cross, or Austin on the cross, or Austin on the slab table where he's getting stabbed? Or, you know what I'm saying? But they have segments, or to have Paul Bearer shoved down an hole.
For a moment.
Who booked that, bro?
Oh, well, that was 98. Oh, Vince, what are you doing?
So, before we go on to our next part of the review, Thunder.
Feel the thunder.
April 26, 2000. Sting beats the wall in a tables match and is still covered in blood.
Oh, he's meant to have like that catatonic thing. You should have had a wash. He's still got his paint. Even his paint they cut off.
Did they? I don't know whether they did. Did they film it the same night? I assume they didn't because of how long Nitros and Thunders were.
The Thunder,
if they weren't, did they cover Sting in red, or did they just go, nah, just got to put up with the red?
Maybe if they filmed it the next night, they said to Sting, go to your room and don't wash, don't change, just stay in your lab, just stand in your room for the next 24 hours, and then come back.
But not only that, Sting beat the wall in a tables match.
The bloke that tried to build it.
Yeah.
Did you see his powerbomb that he slipped? And nearly smacked the back of his head off the apron.
Awful. Vampiro attacks, but actually fails in this attack, and Sting gets the upper hand, and that's...
of course he does.
That's kind of side of things to come.
Yeah, well, if that's not kooky enough, May the 1st Nitro. May the 1st be with you. Vampiro is shown in a cemetery talking about his dreams and his home. This is where he cuts that promo and says curiosity killed the scorpion, and sort of wants Sting to come and play with him in his world, the graveyard, in his world. It's a handheld camera. It is a better promo, I thought, from Vampiro.
Yeah, I thought it was a little better. I shouldn't say much.
No.
And I think the fact that it was handheld at the very least was...
It's in black and white.
Feel, yeah. Sting later is looking for Vampiro in the cemetery.
How did he know where to go?
Well, there's only one cemetery.
Well, it's a big state.
It's that one by
Probably only over the road.
Yeah, it's and then they do the Laurel and Hardy spot where one of them opens the door and one of them doesn't.
He runs over and he walked up and then he's like behind you.
You should have had as well at one point them panning out and Warrior said, "Still Bennett." Where's Jake? Looking at the skull still.
Hang on, he's Blade Runner partner, eh?
No,
so he should have got to help him.
Sting is chasing Vampiro through the graveyard, and then Vampiro is now behind him. He sort of drops down on a little ledge.
Yeah,
a conveniently placed ledge.
I've got a feeling this isn't an actual cemetery.
Really? And he blasts Sting with a shovel over and over and over again. Sting is by an open grave, and he says, he sort of mutters, "Who are you?" to Vampiro. Sting does. And Vampiro responds. He says he's who Sting should have been, and then breaks the gravestone over his head, which the commentary team really.
It's a very light gravestone,
but it just turns to dust as well. And he leaves Sting in the graveyard. I thought that was probably the best bit of the feud, just that little bit of word in between.
Yeah, true. And it's funny when he's lying there and you're just in the cabin with like the little like torch on his face.
Is he alright?
Is he there? Is he alright?
So yes, Vampiro has left Sting in a grave. We'll never see Sting again, obviously.
But he doesn't.
Until later on.
Because
until later on in the show.
Because that's when you see like his hand, which you can barely see because he's black and white and black and white and dark anyway, because they ham it up. But it would have made more sense if he at least tried to bury him a little bit, like they did with Taker and Mankind. That kind of worked because he was like covered in that.
Buried. It don't work if he just goes hello.
Yeah,
but I mean,
he's just like in a big hole.
I'll come back covered in red and dirt as well.
He had a wash before this.
So Vampiro is out later in the episode.
He's not going a week without a wash, and then he gets dirty, so he can't wash again.
It's going to look terrible when he's fire damaged, covered in dirt and red. He's got a black mask over his one leg. He's going to be the weirdest man still all flaring it on.
So Sting, though, what do you?
So later in the episode, this happens halfway through Nitro. That would have been an ending to Raw.
Yeah.
That would have just been the arc. Vampiro brags later on in the episode that he's now the hunter, and Sting has found that he is the true darkness, and this cues Sting's theme. Madden, oh my god, how much does he oversell that crow? It's a crow! It's a crow! Oh my god, it's a crow! Look at the crow! Oh my goodness.
I think you'll find it's a blackbird. I should have buried him for that.
And then Sting comes out with a bat and lays waste to
Vampiro. He dropped from the roof.
Does he jump from the roof? I can't remember.
I've put here that he dropped
He
from
must
the
do
roof.
then. I gets back to the arena and goes up the rafters as well.
Yeah, covered in red. So Sting ends the episode having been buried and lost it halfway through. The victor. Again, like what Cornette says, that's 2 episodes, or 3 or 4. You could have at least put him off.
So they've already had 2 matches and 2 segments.
Yeah. Key segments as well.
Yeah.
You could have put Sting out of action after the hanging.
Yeah.
You could have put him out of action after the burial. At least that puts over that Vampiro is a threat. If he's the worst that Vampiro can do is make him red for a couple of days.
Cover him in guns.
So yeah, thoughts on what I'll call the graveyard match, but it wasn't really a match.
Graveyard bit.
Well,
Graveyard smash.
I think it was a monster mash. It is the best bit that we've seen so far, and like you say, there's finally something that you can sink your teeth into as to why Vampiro is beating up Sting with the "I'm the monster that you should have been."
Yeah,
there's finally something there where you go, "Oh,
that's why you're fighting."
What?
Yeah?
3 months after I've been waiting, but. Yeah, I did like that bit. I did like the creativity of doing it in the graveyard.
Yeah.
And
this is the best
he does sort of get shit on at the end.
It does,
but
like,
it did look strong for the 4 minutes.
This is the best bit by a long way.
Well,
it is kooky as hell, but again, it could have easily have been a bit that happened just on its own, and you didn't need the end bit, because again, the end bit takes away the whole premise of it. Because anyone tuning into Nitro has watched Sting win. That's all I've saw.
Yeah.
That saw Sting win the night. Sam, anything to add?
Well, one thing I would say is Vampiro said to him, "I'm the monster that you should have been." This is the segment that should have been on the fucking program.
Yeah.
It's just
that should have been the segment to
start it, and then you could have rut him off until like Slamboree.
Yeah. Unless people are invested in why you're feuding, why should anyone care?
But as we've said at the beginning, the people who in this storyline don't look like they care.
No. I think we'll never have to do a full episode on Slamboree 2000 because this is our second visit
match.
to it.
Is this what's going to happen? We're going to gradually bit by bit through each match. And we're going to do the Hogan Kidman next. We're going to watch that match.
Because we recently reviewed David Arquette's Triple Cage of Doom win.
Near the main event. This was a
as
semi
part of our 12 Days of Christmas, so we'll head over to our back catalogue and check that out.
The same with the Great American Bash as well.
Yeah, it is.
That's true.
Flair.
Yeah, we did. So Slamboree 2000 and Sting versus Vampiro. Sting wallops him with a baseball bat on the elevated aisle to start the match, and then beats him towards the ring. Vampiro is then tossed into a table and pummeled on the floor. Sting breaks the count and goes right back after him and rolls him into the ring and decks him, but Vampiro uppercuts him in the balls. Vampiro, this is where they go that there's no sort of DQs anymore.
Yeah, we don't know anymore.
No.
Do you like the fact that Shivani tells Sting to use the table? I think I know which side Shivani's on.
Yeah, well, I like Shivani because he tells Sting to toss him on the table, and later he goes, "It's time to break up the vampire." That was my favourite line.
I made a note of one thing. When they was brawling on the stage, then obviously you see it and you can see the crowd down. There's one side that's right in front and it just said Laxative Luger.
Laxative Luger. My favourite line.
Oh, poor Luger. Don't catch a break, can he? Even in this match, he's not involved in. People are burying him.
So Vampiro now starts to unload and beats him back inside and outside of the ring, but they eventually get back in. And he nails him with a pipe and then mounts him and start pounding on him in the corner. But he then is low blowed by Sting, and Sting power bombs him. I think he power bombs him off the top rope.
Well, it's sort of just like it don't want to power bomb. It's just sort of like I'll push you off here.
Yeah,
and I'll just drop on my knees.
Sting now has the pipe and uses it and wastes Vampiro. This is where Tony Schiavone says, "Time to break up the vampire."
To break up the
vampire. That's what he said. Stinger then hits a death drop.
Is he an actual
Well, he
vampire?
actually
No,
hits
that's
two
fine.
death drops, isn't it? So it feels like he's definitively winning
This
the
is-
feud.
Yeah, he's saying,
the end.
this is
The end
it.
of the
No
feud.
more of this shit.
And gets the win. Definitively I mean, the only bit of offence that Vampiro got was after the ball shot where he hits him in the balls. It never looked like, if he didn't in theory cheat, it never looked like Vampiro was going to win this match because he started getting it was a typical Hogan kind of heel face match.
Yeah.
We're going to book the
to
new blood over the old faces, bro.
No, we're not.
Not from the booking Arkansas.
No. And who's going to be world champ at the end of the night? Sam, what do you think of the match?
Well, as you say, it was a bit of a burial, but it was made even worse by after he beat him, you saw him walking back, he just turned around and just whacked him again.
Yeah.
And Vampiro sold like he was just like a bit of a tombstone description. Sorry, that was me ringing. But it just took a timber spot and then Stinger walked off.
Yeah, and it was almost like he felt that was it.
Yeah.
It just really.
Oh no, it's not.
Jack.
Yeah, it was bad as usual. I mean, it just feels like you've got a new bloke, a new character on the roster in Vampiro. At least has got a character, even if you don't really know what it is. At least it's got some intrigue, and you can create something and use it and mould it. And you've just jobbed him out every single week, even the week where he's got the most.
The week he got put over,
the graveyard week where he's got the most. Over that he could have gone. He's still got shit on at the end. And here he's just completely like, this bloke has no reason being in the ring with Sting because he's killed him. He's done. He's used pipes, he's ball shots, powerbomb off the top, 2 splashes, 2 death drops, and then hit him on the way out as well. You've killed him.
Yeah.
You've buried him.
Yeah.
Why have you done this?
I think the only reason is they need New Blood v Millionaires Club, and I thought, well, who can Sting feud with? The bloke who looks similar
like
to
Sting.
who looks a little bit like him.
Why you
Because you
killed
can't
him?
really have Sting feuding with who the hell was in the New Blood I've lost?
Brian Knobs.
Brian Knobs don't appear, does he? Meng. Oh, bloody Meng.
Oh, so going forward, yes, we still go forward. Anyone who's watched Slamboree 2000 and watched Sting versus Vampiro, we still go forward to May 8th Nitro. We didn't review this, but Sting fought Double J for the WCW title, and Sting was again pulled through the ring by Vampiro. Later on, Nash and Hogan would make the save on Sting, who is doused in red, again from going under.
Again? Oh,
but he's pinned by Double J. And Vampiro now steals Sting's crow.
this is it.
And then on May 10th Thunder, Mike Tenay sits down with Vampiro and shows a shot from earlier in the day from an intense interview. He wasn't in character. And he says he wore face paint because he was ashamed growing up being so poor.
Oh, I did see this, and he said people had just looked at him, so I thought I'd give him something to look at.
Yeah, so he made himself.
Well, if
look
I'm looking
like
at you anyway, why would you bother giving them something to look at? I'm already looking at you.
Vampiro did a fourth wall thing where he said he took Sting's crow on Monday because Steve didn't have the time to take care of it.
Is it Sting or is it Steve? I didn't make a note for that.
And then he told the story of Ozzy Osbourne biting off the head of a bat for attention and stated he wanted to reenact the event on Thunder. Tenay begged him not to, and just as he was about to perform the act, Sting charged the set and started beating Vampiro around the studio. But if you get a chance to watch this, it's worth it because Vampiro laughs all the way through the beating.
What happens to the crow? Does it fly off?
Well, the main event, no word of a lie, the main event for Thunder was Sting versus, who do you think?
The Wall.
Well, you've said this.
Vampiro.
Is it Norman Smiley or something?
Mike Awesome in an ambulance match.
Oh, is it?
What the hell is that? Why are they in a stipulated match, a gimmick match? But it's mainly because Vampiro can get the shot ambulance. Where he's in the ambulance and he drives off with Sting at the end to continue this.
The next show,
Well,
you don't turn up with him in the ambulance.
Well, it starts with Vampiro versus Sting.
Yeah, what the
So, no word of thunder, no word of crow. But yeah, Nitro, May 15th, opens up with Vampiro versus Sting. I must admit, I do enjoy the fact that they don't fuck around and it's just started. But the cage is set up, because this is a House of Pain match. The most bizarre gimmick.
Jump around.
Is there a door on this cage?
No, I don't think there is. Oh, there must have been, because Vampiro got
Yeah,
in.
there is, because there's spots. This is the Nitro. There's spots after with it locked.
Yeah, there is.
Then Louis
Like,
gets in dressed as John Travolta.
Oh yeah, that's
the one with the
Does he
wig.
have a fake tash?
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Anyone who gets the time to watch May 15th Nitro, it is worth it.
The
Not
best
just for the
Nitro
opening
ever.
match, but
the
it
whole
is
thing.
The
bizarre.
whole thing is just a fucking.
And you wonder why WWF was winning.
Yeah, so essentially the House of Pain is a Hell in the Cell, if you will. If you haven't seen it, it
Cage
is.
Hell in the
It's a
Hell in the
SmackDown 2 Hell in the Cell.
It is.
Vampiro has the cage locked and presses his face against the cage, taunting Sting, who climbs up top and uses the bat to break through.
It's a flimsy cage,
yeah,
ain't it? The back can bloody break it.
He hangs down and fends off attacks from Vampiro by just kicking him away. Even that.
This bloke's hanging and he's still kicking your ass.
Oh, so Vampiro is kicked back and then Bulldog. Vampiro fires back and tosses Sting into the cage. Apparently, to win, you have to shackle them to the cage. But why?
They're all
Next no.
Then the fun can happen. Or whatever it is.
That sounds very strange if you've got somebody. There's sort of
50 Shades of Grey things going on here, eh?
50 Shades of Pain.
50 Shades of Red.
Oh, they get into a strange territory.
So he runs him into the corner and then suplexes him and drops the leg. He works over the leg and knee of Sting, and Sting goes down. He continues to work over Sting for a bit, but misses off the second rope with again a sort of jumping nothing. And Sting starts to unload on Vampiro. He hits a couple of atomic drops and then runs him in from one end of the cage to the next, and rubs Vampiro's face against the cage like a grater, and then just shackles Vampiro with no real build to the end. That is the end, and he hits a couple of Stinger splashes, and Sting just leaves.
Ready to fuck it.
Yeah, come on.
I'm done now.
How many times do I have to beat you before you realise this is not a feud? You're going to win.
Vampiro's smiling, ain't he?
Yeah, Vampiro just
And that's why,
smiles.
you know, that's what we were
But
going
in
about.
the
That's where the
slowest-
fun begins.
in the slowest-
See Vampiro's face. Do you want this?
In the slowest end to this sort of segment, he walks up the elevated ramp and does
cage
his...
is- And the cage is being raised a little
Yeah, and the
bit.
cage is raised while
And then the lights go
Vampiro's still shackled.
Yeah.
And then the lights of the ring goes off, but you don't see it because they just look at Sting's confused face,
Yeah, go.
and then Vampiro's disappeared.
It's not like an extension cord. Start going, put the lights on!
Yeah, because the lights are because someone unplugged it.
What the fuck? It's like fucking National Lampoon with a light switch.
Yeah, but the fuse has gone.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'd love Griswold to be there.
Come back.
That's not Vampiro. He's the one that bullet.
That would have been brilliant. Yeah, and then so Vampiro's gone, and that's that episode over. I have put, and this is my note, this is wanky and so unsatisfying. Why? So I'll throw to you first, Jack. What do you think of this match?
It's just getting worse. I try to feel sorry for Vampiro, but then I think he's probably a cock, so I don't feel sorry for him. I just think, you know, they just must have thought, what other way can we just bury this character on TV by the same bloke again, put him in a cage, handcuff him, and have him hit two splashes at him, and then think, they'll do. I just don't get what the point was. Why has he disappeared? You know, I know he's supernatural. He drops blood on people.
Yeah.
So I know he. Well, red, sorry.
I know he's bite the head off a crow.
This, you know, 3 months in, you shouldn't be building. Oh, we can do supernatural stuff. I should know this from the start.
Yeah.
So this is terrible. It's just getting worse, and I'm really sad at this point. I don't want to see any more. Just end it.
This is May, because until September.
Until September.
Do you remember?
Sam, quickly, what do you think on this?
The name of the gimmick match kind of sums up this feud.
House of Pain.
Yeah.
It is like a house of... So we head to May 17th, so 2 days later, the episode of Thunder, which is now on a Wednesday, I assume, because it's 2 days after Nitro.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday night Thunder.
And I realise we can't go head-to-head with SmackDown. We're getting around.
This is where it gets really weird. This gets weird, doesn't it? Although Heenan's on commentary for Thunder, and that made me smile, because at least it's better than
at least
that.
Heenan's here.
At least Heenan's here. You just think you deserve better. Why don't you go back to
I don't know. Backstage, Vampiro tells Sting... tells him he's going to take him to hell and sets fire to a plastic Sting mess. Then there's an interview with Sting.
I actually put good Sting promo. This one
was
okay.
better.
I just put standard I'm going to hit you promo from
Yeah,
Sting.
well, yeah.
I'm going to burn you.
I've bitched you for 3 months and you keep coming back. Will you fix that and leave me alone?
Let's you with someone credible.
So Sting told Vampiro he's really close to snapping and he's going to take him out in Louisiana. Vampiro called him Steve, sorry, not Sting.
Steve.
He said
Who mentioned consistency?
he said that
just box in Doug Mantel with it.
Sting goes Steve.
he
I thought
said
his name was Sting. This is just TNA.
he says that Vampiro didn't Steve didn't finish Vampiro off on Monday because part of Sting, again he says Sting, liked him. So, but Steve didn't finish Vampiro because part of Sting. It's all very confusing.
Fourth wall shit.
Yeah. He said that at the Great American Bash, the two of them would wrestle in an Inferno match, to which Sting goes, nah.
No. Have a word, son.
I beat you.
How many
Three times now.
And then Vampiro says he had no choice, and the ring ropes suddenly catch on fire, and Heenan and Shivani, play up that they've never heard of an Inferno match, even though over on the rival promo there's been a few.
There's been about 2 or 3 already.
So yeah, I don't understand why they were trying to get over. Like, did they think that the WCW audience had never seen an Inferno match?
But to be honest, they call it an Inferno match, but because the pay-per-view, it's not called an Inferno match.
It's called a Set Your Man on Fire match.
Human
Torch match.
Yeah, the human...
Fantastic.
The flashlight match.
Well, there was a lot of things going on in the back in WCW at this point because they thought he was too dark, Russo. But they didn't stop him, they just told him to tone things down, so terminology changed, so they couldn't use words like blood. But they could bleed, but they just couldn't call it blood. Like, it doesn't make no sense, does it? Anyway,
Defend him.
yeah, it's just stupid, it's all confusing and convoluted. On Nitro, May the 22nd, Vampiro beats Hogan. Hogan? He pins Hogan.
I like the fact that there's a little bit of a silence.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Kidman gets involved. Yeah. Kidman gets involved.
Oh, he lost the match.
That shit's Hogan.
Sting's beat Vampiro about 4 times. You can't beat him once, Hogan.
Well, Kidman gives him a fucking blowtorch and he attacks Hogan. Yeah, and they beat Hogan.
No, okay, I was going to say, no, you don't need to give him a blowtorch. Just give Hogan some flash paper and a lighter and he'll do it himself.
That's an upcoming review there.
Yes.
But Sting makes the save, and we head to May 24th's Thunder, where Tenay asks Sting about his problems with Vampiro and the similarities between the two athletes, but Tenay began discussing the Human Torch match, and Sting started to get sort of agitated. And then during the interview, the lights went out, and then a curtain caught fire. And illuminated the set.
Curtain on fire.
A circle of curtains caught fire, like it was pathetic.
It just seems somebody's knocked a candle over.
So,
A load of shit.
So here we are at the
God.
Great American Bash.
I can't take
2000.
any more, really, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, we're getting close.
We're nearly there. If we just power through it.
So, Vampiro versus Sting 9 is a Human Torch match. Sting starts on top of the video wall and invites Vampiro up, but Vampiro refuses because apparently he can
scared of
control
heights.
everything, but he's scared of heights. Whatever. Sting charges the ring. Well, he charges the ring after doing the fucking like parasailing down the side of the fucking thing.
It takes him a while though.
It's terrible.
Oh, because he picks the blowtorch up, though, because Vampiro's got like the blowtorch on like a thing, and then Sting sort of like you see it frisking up. And this is actually where I put Madden over.
Oh well, we'll get to this because we've got to do the token crappy shit in the in-ring segments that leads to it. So Sting misses a Stinger splash, and Vampiro then starts dumping gasoline on him, which the announcers do. The cliche of pointing out the smell. Oh, the smell! I can smell it! And apparently gasoline is really, really spicy to the eyes as well because it blinds you. I didn't know that it did, but apparently
I don't know,
it
I've
does.
smelt petrol, it don't really blind you.
And they fight towards the video wall now, where the lit torch is located. So Vampiro had the foresight to bring a can of gasoline, but he didn't bring a match. I couldn't believe that. So now he's thought, shit, I've got to climb that bastard thing.
Is that the only source of fire in the whole building?
I don't know, but
Is
they
it the bastard wall.
they allow Vampiro to get to the top first by doing a spot which in WWE and most other federations would have been the end, where he knocked him off and he fell through the gimmick.
He falls back though. Sting. The best thing about that is the crowd just like
Don't care. I give up to everything like nothing matters.
I'm tired.
It's so over the top.
Shane McMahon took a bump and that was the end of a hardcore
Steve Blackman won that match.
a mid-card match.
Oh.
There's a great piece of commentary with Madden and Shivani where they just say,
How did you see it before it was imminent? Now I'm not so sure they do. I'm not so sure anybody wants to see this.
no one wants to see this.
Yeah.
And I thought, yes, you're fucking right.
Well, I'm going to say now because it was a bit early on when Sting is pulling the torch up, and Madden said that's not Hogan's torch because he wouldn't pass it.
Changing the rules in the middle of the game. You can tell that's not Hogan's torch, guys. He never would have passed it.
I did actually put that bit of commentary there.
well,
I'll allow that. That was funny. That.
So Sting eventually joins Vampiro on the top of the wall, and again they have this issue with reeling the torch in because it's sort of bouncing around on the wire. And now the lights start to flicker and thunder. Well, it's obviously because, hang on a minute, there's a stuntman up there, so we better make it...
Well, your Sting keep dropping down, and I thought, I'm waiting
When
for the
is it gonna
stuntman to
happen?
come
It goes
up.
on forever, doesn't it?
And that's
And I
longer
thought,
than the in-ring segment.
How big's this platform?
Oh, well,
Because it's sort of like this wide or wider.
Well, they were fighting on there. They were trying to get over the 40-foot fall being an issue. Then they were trying to put over the fact that he's covered in gasoline and could burn at any point being an issue. It didn't make any sense that Sting would particularly carry much threat with the blowtorch because he's covered in oil, in flammable liquid. So it didn't make any sense. But eventually, the lights do finally go out after flickering for a while, and then Sting catches fire, although it's an obvious stuntman because the hair is longer and the face is puffier.
It's a mask. It's a mask.
Yeah, and he dives off the top of the...
Is this the fake Sting? Jeff Farmer? The one from NWO? Is this him? Let him do it. You get up there.
It's the most picture-perfect stuntman dive you will ever see.
Yeah.
Like, it
Good
just,
stuff, man.
and he dives and lands on the obvious inflatable mattress below.
Oh, no.
This is the issue that I have, is that if you am going to use stuntmen to do it, don't make them look like stunts. You know, you've got to make it look realistic. At the very least, the WWE make everything look... Because obviously they don't use stuntmen.
Yeah,
At least it looks realistic.
It's Shane McMahon. Oh, yeah.
And then they don't even sell the fact that he's fell 40 feet and would be crippled.
It's the
because
fact he's
then
on
they get to
fire.
him and his feet's bouncing around him.
Yeah, when
so
that's spraying
he's
him.
instantly not hurt because he's moving around.
Yeah, he's like, don't show this.
They just
I could have said that at the start of the match. Don't show this.
They try and get over that this is really serious, and you know they almost do an Owen Hart style commentary.
That was a bit sad.
It was just so unnecessary. And I've got that this match has zero redeeming value is what I've put. It's got no place at all within this feud. I mean, you could have just had the stuntman on fire from the ring and him run to the back, and that would have sufficed for the storyline at the very least. You know, do what Kane did with Undertaker. You know, when he caught his arm on fire or something. There's easy ways of doing it. It just didn't need the over the top stuff that it went through. Jack, your thoughts on this monstrosity?
Well, you know, you the weeks before you're thinking, well, it can't be any worse. And then you get to here and you think, well, actually, you know, to be fair to Russo, he has topped himself by making it even worse.
Cornet wishes he did.
Bro, it's just, you know, the match. There's no match. You know, it's just, can we go up there and fall off? Is the thing. You know, he falls off the Titantron and no one gives a shit, which is brilliant for me. And then the brawl on there forever. Why is the thunder and lightning? Then he sets on fire in the obvious stuntman. Then, like you say, no one really gives a shit that he fell 40 foot. It's just, well, is he burned? It's like, what the fuck? He fell for 40 foot?
Oh, just...
It turned into Cornet, didn't it?
I think we all do after watching this shit.
It's just really bad. What?
So,
where do we go from here?
I don't understand what you do from here. So
I don't know. I feel like I want to set myself on fire watching this shit. It's
the most
at least it
annoying
might be a bit enjoyable.
This is probably the only bit where Vampiro looks stronger, and it's the worst bit.
Yeah, because that like is cut to Vampiro, who looks slightly. He's got a strange look on his face. He's trying to do all that, and the announcer says, "Don't show him."
yeah,
you put him over.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I just love the commentary from Tony Schiavone when he was going.
This is what the new blood is all about. Let me ask you this: would we be reacting the same if Vampiro had fallen off the top? I would be. I guess we would be. I mean, it's not about wins and losses.
No, it would be. I know. You know, when we talked about setting a man on fire, I thought, well, maybe, hopefully, the guy's leg will get on fire, the boot will get on fire, or the arm or something.
Here on the ground,
but not the whole body go up in flames. And my God, we're going to witness this again.
Well, we heard about the Inferno match, and we were just hoping that maybe Boot would catch fire. Because he obviously realises that they're being completely and utterly contradictory. Because you're commentating on a match where you know someone's going to catch fire. Don't then act holier than thou that you go, oh God, someone's caught on fire.
That's it on Thunder. That they've never heard of the Inferno match, so they've kind of done that. And another thing is, this isn't Papa Shango. He's not going to set somebody's foot on fire.
I wish it was.
That'd be brilliant. Shango Tango. Oh, brilliant.
Upcoming podcast, Papa Shango. But we're not over, bro. As we head to the Bash at the Beach 2000.
Oh God, this is going to be a show on itself. That is,
goodness me,
that clusterfuck.
That is crazy. But it was on that show. Vampiro had been moved into a feud with the Kiss Demon for the month between.
That makes no sense either.
Vampiro heads out and talks about beating the Kiss Demon and owning the Kiss Demon and all this sort of stuff. Well, he's not called the Kiss Demon, is he? And he
keeps Demon Dale Torbo.
They call him Dale.
Dale. But then they say he was formerly known as Dale Torbo. Now he's the Demon.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck he was. You don't have to tell me that.
Was Brian Adams first?
Christ.
Oh, was it Paul Diamond?
Probably. Probably had
him.
And this reminded me so much of Royal Rumble 94 as druids bring out a coffin.
That old vintage thing with the fake.
Yeah, got the coffin out, and then another Sting emerges, which they think is Sting for some reason.
But you can't see him, can you?
The
Because
camera
he
works
attacks Vampiro, puts him in the casket with a busted lid, so he don't really show. And you think, is he Sting? Because it looks like he's wearing a mask.
Yeah,
so it's sort of Sting, dressed as Sting.
Yeah. Did you hear the mega mix of Sting themes as well? Where they had the man called Sting, but then over the organ playing, then having the crow theme. That's what I'll splice it in. They did a mega mix,
a big mix,
but it was like the man called Sting.
There's a thing online we take where it's all these themes put together. I think they released it. I think
it was bizarre, absolutely bizarre. I will splice it in. And then Vampiro is laid out in the coffin, but he looks like he's just having a sleep.
I'm just a bit tired.
I'm tired, bro.
He doesn't look hurt. It's awful.
He's knackered.
So Sting is back. I'm not even going to ask your thoughts on that. I mean, that was
Sting is back.
So the Nitros we missed. Nitro on the 10th of July. Sting attacked the Demon and Vampiro, as the Demon is now under his control. On the following Thunder.
That's the one where
Sting comes back in a black mask.
Yeah, it's
his
not a
nose is exposed.
Oh, I see that bit.
It's like
I'm
a
on
sock.
the Nitro 24th of July. Because I've just put backstage interview with Sting cloth on his head. It's cloth on his head.
I built into that. So on Thunder.
No, it's more like face checker or phone check.
Hello? Italian fireplace. Talk to me.
That would have been brilliant. With a little bobble on the top.
Talk to me. Italian fireplace.
Oh, that'll pop the UK.
Fabulous. Thunder on the 12th of July. Vampiro vows to unmask Sting. On the 17th
What's
of
he
July.
on to achieve? I'm going to show you Sting. We know it's Sting.
I don't know. On the
Is
12th,
that Sting? We don't know. It sounds like Sting. He's the same size.
He smells like Sting. He wrestles like Sting. He's covered in red.
He hasn't had a wash for 6 weeks. I think that's Sting.
Oh, so on the 17th of July is Nitro. Muta, I'd say debuts. He's been in WCW a lot. But he fights Vampiro, who is with the ICP, so he's getting the carnival together.
Has he got their juggalo paint at that point?
On Thunder,
the clanny kind of.
on Thunder, neither of them appear.
But
And
they
on
like a dress or a skirt.
yeah.
But like his really high pants, and
It's
which
weird.
it's like Raven, when he used to wear his bin bag skirt.
Didn't think that'd be it.
So on the Nitro on the 24th of July, as Sam correctly said, Sting does a promo dressed as Phone Jacker with a big black hood and wants a title shot and vows to unmask.
Talk to me.
But he's dressed in this. He's just been burned.
Brilliant.
Title match. Talk to me.
The best of it is that he's been burned, thrown off. He's come back. He's dressed in a
He's took
mask.
2 big, like 10-foot, 14-foot pumps.
He wants a title match, and he has
He's been buried. He's been smacked in the head with a big concrete slab.
This is all. We haven't finished. I know. But he asked for a title match, and he has to win a pole. Jesus Christ!
Was Steve Von Dudley in this pole? This really is TNA.
And you know who takes him out at the end of the show? Goldberg!
Burger.
Heel Goldberg! Who's heel? Which is another story for another day. Well, yeah, so he's helped out by Booker T. And then, on Thunder, on the 26th of July, Muta is with Vampiro with no builds. And they're now in the Juggalo Army, and they beat Jindrak and O'Hare. So why are they still feuding then? Because Sting hasn't even mentioned Vampiro for 2 weeks. So on Nitro, on the 31st of July, Double J attacks Booker T.
Yeah, where did these two appear?
I don't
These two
understand.
being dragged in
Sting in a black hood runs out
his bobble act.
and saves Booker T, and then Jeff Jarrett, just to drum home that we're in 2000, smashes Booker T's then wife with a guitar.
I was going to say, because it said he's his wife, I'm sure he was still with Charmel.
Yeah, I thought that Charmel.
Well, I don't know whether they were together or whether this genuinely was his wife, but it was a character playing his wife.
It's a woman! He said a woman! And then Stevie Ray goes on now.
Stevie Ray's on commentary.
And then just runs to the back. Hold it back. Why is Harlem Heat Jeff Jarrett being dragged into this feud?
This is just bizarre.
Where's this going?
Well, this gets better, doesn't it?
No!
Because, I mean... I don't even
does get
understand it. So Double J comes out, he says he's heard Sting's looking for him and he doesn't care, and he says he's in the ring, so Sting drops down, and then them two have a match, which Sting wins, for want of a better word, and not wanting to go into too much detail, but yeah, there's a chair shot which has got a no DQ. Double J, Jeff Jarrett and Sting wins with a death drop and goes over. Later on, Sting and Booker T chat and they agree to have the title match that Sting won the pole for. Booker T takes him down and stomps away. Booker is up and then turned inside out with a lariat. Sting goes for a deathlock, but Booker T grabs the ropes. Sting then goes after the knee, kicking him down, and he turns him into the lock, but Booker T gets to the ropes again and rolls to the floor. Sting goes for him, but he's back kicked and punched. Sting reverses an Irish whip and Booker crashes into the railings. Booker is then rolled in. Sting goes up to the top and gets all knees when he jumps off for his splash, which doesn't tend to work, Sting. So, and this hurts Booker T's knees as well, which is part of the story and where we're going to end up. Both collide and Sting falls to the floor, and then someone drags him under the ring.
I don't know.
Slowly.
They just sort of like give him an hug, don't they?
They give him an hug.
Come here. Let's have a cuddle.
Do a roll under the ring.
Yep, you're alright.
And then he pushes him back out, and then Sting staggers to his feet and rolls into the ring. And
Has he got any red on?
Yeah, he's bleeding a bit. Booker T is up, and he's back elbowed again, and again. Sting whips him into the corner, but Booker floats over and rolls him up for a 2. He misses a kick and he's DDT'd. Slow cover from Sting gets a 2. And then Booker kicks him and he's nearly put in the death drop, but gets behind Sting and it's a bookend for a cleanish win, which I thought was better than having Booker T win through the kiss demon thing that happened under the ring. So Booker T wins and defends his WCW champion. Sting then goes under the ring and pulls out Doink. No, he doesn't. He pulls out the demon, who is still there, and he assaults the demon. And then comes Vampiro and Muta, and they unload on Sting. Double J then comes out from the crowd and hits Booker T with a guitar. Did you enjoy his rock lobster walk as well? From a rock lobster walk. Oh dear. Oh, it was brilliant. Booker T then is beating on Muta, and Jarrett takes a chair to Booker and destroys him. Sting is then put in that big
fucking
coffin thing.
Yeah.
Cacophony thing.
What the fuck is that?
The demon with
Paul Daniels was involved.
Instead of just setting it on fire, it just spits a bit of fire at it.
But then how it catches fire.
He just got on my knee. You got my knee.
Should have come back with the bandage there. Should have come back with the bandage again.
Doing bobble act again.
And then they hang Booker T.
They just biting his leg.
He's cracking his legs up.
I don't know what happens when you're in hospital if you break your leg. They put it up in that noose thing.
And then Tony Schiavone's voice breaks and he calls it madness. I just thought it was.
I was going to say, if you listen to just Tony Schiavone and not anything else while he's watching this, you can tell at this point, even he's giddy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Stupid. So yeah, well, thoughts on the Booker T Sting match?
Well, the match, you know, it was okay.
It was better than
at least they had a bit of jeopardy involved in that. I don't get why he gets rolled out and does the thing, you know, come under the ring, go back out bloodied, and then they still work a bit like.
I think it's because that's my point. I think he could have done without that. He could have just had the attack afterwards and let Booker T beat him clean, because it would have meant more.
Well, because he does the bookend wins, and then Sting's like, right up, I've got to do this thing with him.
Right, who the hell dragged me under it?
This is just, you know, if you just had a match and then, even though the spot's shite as well after, at least then the match is kept in some sort of workable condition. But I think the match is ruined by that. And then the spot,
I can't work under these conditions.
The spot is funny after, because the coffin now really set on fire. They might as well have just set it on fire. And then Booker with his leg in the air. It's just my favourite visual.
But do you want, just Sam, do you want to add anything to that?
No. good match, shit spot.
Yeah. Do you want to know how you make this feud worse? You add a bit of Chronic. Because on Thunder, on the 2nd of August, Booker T, Sting and Chronic would beat the Demon, Vampiro, Double J, and
took me forever to find this match.
do you want to know who got the pinfall and who took the pinfall in that match?
Vampiro over Sting.
Sting over Vampiro.
On the 7th,
on the 7th of August, Nitro, Sting clears out the Dark Carnival on their own after their match.
On his own,
not with Booker or Chronic. On his own.
I just had flashbacks of Hogan with the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah.
Was it Slamboree or Super Brawl? That's it.
And then on the 9th of August, Thunder gets better. Sting and the Cat.
Oh, that cat!
Beat Vampiro and Mutter.
Somebody call creative. That's us. Even we can't help you with it.
But in fairness, the Carnival do go over at the end, and Sting is
like,
like,
God, no, went over.
So he's better on his own than with the cat.
The cat has made him worse.
The cat has brought him down.
Well, was it curiosity killed the scorpion?
Yes, yeah.
Fucking cat.
The cat killed the scorpion. So, New Blood Rising.
Oh, what a
pay-per-view. All these pay-per-views get worse.
What's that replaced?
He replaced Road Wild, which was awful anyway.
Oh, that was the one where they didn't get any money from the gate, didn't they? Because they did it for free and some biker thing.
Stupid.
So the Demon faces Sting. At least he's short. So
I like the fact that Shivani calls him like the God of Thunder, trying to get all these Kiss references.
There's a promo at the start of the show.
I didn't see it.
No, I didn't.
There's nothing really, but it's just Vampiro talking. Demon don't really talk. He just says, "You got to prove yourself, Vampiro." And then Mutter just goes,
Vampiro, you buried Sting, you put him in a casket, you even set him on fire, but you couldn't stop him still. But tonight, will the Demon do what you couldn't?
Sting, your 9 lives have finally ticked down to 0. And the fate that the Juggalo army has for you will make your dance with fire look like child's play. Demon, tonight's your test. Tonight I want to see if you got a black heart. Black enough to walk and hang with the Dark Carnival. And for your sake, big boy, you better
That's
prove me wrong.
It's the only bit that I like.
That's amazing.
I thought you were going to say Quang.
Quang.
I don't think I'll go into the backstory of the Demon. Needless to say, it was the Kiss Demon now is the Demon. Sting repels from the ceiling and he's back on pay-per-view despite being burnt to pay-per-view. Yeah. There's a quick brawl on the aisle, quick brawl around the ring, a Stinger splash, a death drop, and a win for Sting in about a minute.
I like the fact that the commentary are even shocked. They said, "That it?"
Yeah. I just like the fact that the ref was a lomper. But it's not over for the Dark Carnival, because later on they would
fight Chronic.
Yeah, because after the match, Vampiro and Mutter would be out to start beating up Sting, try and hang him. Obviously.
Oh yeah,
hang him, and then Chronic make the save. They beat the Dark Carnival out of the ring, and the fans boo Chronic. And then Sting doesn't give a shit.
No, because he just dropped over there.
The favourite bit of that is when Chronic come out and they beat on Mutter and Vampiro. They punch Mutter, and then Mutter sells turns and sort of goes to the camera and goes,
Brilliant. And then they challenge the Dark Carnival to a title match. They just won the tag team champions in a 4-way.
When I was trying to find them, I saw Chronic like early on, and then I saw him against them. I thought, what's going
That
on?
was in a fatal 4-way sort of 8-man thing, and they won it. And then they challenged the Carnival and lost it. So the Carnival ended the show as the tag team champions. Yeah, Carnival beat Chronic. On the 21st of August, Nitro, Vampiro and Tank Abbott go to a contest.
What's Tank doing in here?
Well, this
Is he
obviously,
doing his grouping?
I don't know whether Sting wanted a couple of weeks off, because on the 23rd of August, Thunder, the Dark Carnival beat 3 Count. On the 28th August, Nitro, Dark Carnival and 3 Count go to a no contest when Sting makes the save, and later Sting and Mutter go to a no contest.
Is it 4 Count?
4 Count.
And the Carnival attacks Sting. Then nothing happens on the next Thunder, but on the 4th of September's Nitro, Sting is now positioned into a feud with Russo and Nash.
What?
Yep. But not before having a 10-second no contest match with Vampiro.
10 seconds?
No way. They come out,
seconds?
they start a match, Mutter gets in, he attacks him, and the referee throws the match out. Straight away.
And yet at Slamboree,
this-
I was not calling DQs on a lot of things.
Well, this teases the feud between Mutter and Vampiro, because Vampiro's annoyed that he just sort of got in straight away. Which takes us to Thunder on the 6th of September, and in a no-holds-barred match, Sting versus Vampiro. But the best is yet to come, because the ICP joined Tony Schiavone at the commentary at ringside, telling him that he's now employed by the JCW. If anyone wants to know, that's Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Championship. No, that's what it's called.
Right,
Yeah,
championship.
They call each other staff names, and Tony Schiavone, who's
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Zimbabwe.
He calls him Tony Zimbabwe.
That's the only one that I've left out of.
I must admit, I loved the commentary, I really did. They called themselves different names and stuff. They kept
And they
calling
just took
Sting Onion Ring. Oh, but whilst this is happening, Vampiro's just getting his arse kicked in the
I'm
match.
having a go Vampiro, saying
Yeah,
he represented us.
Yeah.
Get up.
Eventually, Shaggy and Violent J interfere as they're commentating, stating that apparently it's perfectly legal in JCW to do that. And the rules of the JCW match is that Vampiro wins anyway.
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah.
Even Tony Schiavone goes, so regardless of what happens, Vampiro won. So what's the point in this match?
I like that it's shot by Sting with a steel chair where he has to really bend over the table.
Oh yeah, he just barely gets it.
Getting worse.
I know, Vampiro applies a leg lock
Really there, Jack.
for a submission hold, but he lets go to send Sting to the mat with a devastating kick to the chin. Vampiro then went for the nail in the coffin, but Sting floated it over and slammed him down with a Scorpion Death drop for the win. 1 Scorpion Death drop for the win. The Dark Carnival then attacked Sting after the match, but Sting broke away and fought Mutter up the ramp, and then Goldberg came out.
Oh yeah, because they just he beats him up and then cuts a promo. So was he having a go at Nash and Stein?
I don't
And then
bloody
he
know at
goes,
this point.
Nash, I don't care about you, 'cause I got you at the pay-per-view. Steiner, come here.
Yeah. Also notable during the match, Mutter spat green mist in the eyes of Violent J.
He's spat green.
Yeah, the best thing for me was the Ringo Starr reference, but I'll ask you, Jack, what was your thoughts on the match? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, it was probably the longest match we've had because it's Thunder, but they're just bad how they record the shooting of it terrible, because they allow them to brawl into the crowd where there's a lot of empty seats. Why would you shoot
that's
that?
true.
There's a part where they go into the crowd early on.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
empty
yeah,
seats
right,
everywhere. It's like, what are you doing?
What are you
Why
doing?
would you shoot that? There's a bloke with a bag on his head in the crowd, and I think
Oh,
he's got
and
the best
also,
view.
is this the one?
No, I
where
think
in
he's
the
embarrassed.
crowd- Oh no, it's not. It's the next one. I'll just.
This
go
is,
for
it's
that.
just, you know, I mean, ICP on commentary, they don't take it serious, which is fine, but it's just, you know, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, it's dead anyway, so
You're flogging a dead horse.
Yeah, it's
dead.
what we do. Why are we continuing? It's wasting everyone's time. It's basically.
It sort of
Russo
feels like
sorted out.
they know I'm going to have Vampiro beat Mutter, but they don't know what to do with Sting, so let's just keep him in this
Is it
feud.
50 feuds? 3 count bastard fucking Nash,
Chronic.
Goldberg and Chronic.
Jerry to
Jerry,
Booker.
Well, it gets better because, I mean, Sam, do you have anything to add to
No.
that? On the September the 13th edition of Thunder, because nothing happened on the next Nitro.
They weren't even on it.
No,
Oh, for
neither of them, Sting or Vampiro. But on the Thunder, Sting beats Double J in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and there is no sign of the carnival, so nothing happens. They don't even build. This is built into the pay-per-view, and there's no
They've had
build.
longer off than when Sting fell off the fucking stage.
Yeah, I know. Well, Raw Brawl 2000 relatively starts with Double J in a Buffalo Bills shirt, ticking off the local crowd, who jumps Sting from behind because he's getting a title shot on Nitro or something. I don't really understand why. I'll put in a Dark Carnival theme. Any thoughts on the Dark Carnival theme?
Alright. He was very ICP.
I think they must have had their own ICP track, probably.
No, I think that was the actual theme.
Oh, they don't have any other ICP.
Yeah, they couldn't have the Oddities theme over.
Well, no, they're going to have I don't know why they sort of want to join WCW. Well, I know why, but obviously I'd have thought that if they was in WCW they'd use their own song. But.
Yeah, that's true.
You would have thought so. So, a match that we're reviewing is a triple threat match between
I thought it was an
Vampiro-
handicap.
Well, I did as well until
triple threat,
it was
yeah.
billed as a triple threat between Vampiro, Great Mutter and Sting. So, yeah, the commentary team is the ICP and not Tony Schiavone, but Mark Madden.
Yes!
There is a live recording of my response.
What the hell's going on?
The clowns take over on commentary. Oh.
It's a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Thunder was acceptable. No one watches Thunder.
They keep calling Great Mutter the Great Grand Pumba throughout. Oh dear. And they head straight into the crowd pretty much. The clowns keep switching between calling him Great Pumba and Great Tuna. They talk about Sting's spandex pants. Shaggy says the winger was trained by a speckled belly octopus. Which is my favourite line. I have to write that in. They get back inside with Mutter standing around and watching as Sting beats on Vampiro. Yeah, there's some spin kicks from Mutter to set up a top rope clothesline from Vampiro. As the announcers want to see the patented pickle punch. Apparently. There's a moonsault that gets a 2 on Sting, but the clowns have to break up a fight between Mutter and Vampiro, and then Sting cleans house with a bat. Hudson says that's clown abuse, and there's a death drop on Mutter for the pin, and Sting has beaten them both. Everybody.
Yep. They couldn't do it again.
And that is the end
Well, he
of
saves Mutter.
the feud. Before we get to recapping that feud as a whole. Oh yes, Sting saves Mutter at the end after Vampiro tries to beat him. This is actually Great Mutter's last appearance on WCW.
Is it?
No,
They lead
no,
to like
no,
him being a
no.
team with him.
No.
Which is what you would have thought.
Thought so, but no, didn't. No, as if, by magic, everyone just forgot this happened. Yeah, so...
Did by magic, Sanity appeared. And I don't mean the group.
Jack,
They
thoughts
appear
on
more
this
than they have been on SmackDown.
triple threat?
I mean,
It was a match.
it was probably one of the better matches
Psychology.
in
It's had
terms of
better
psychology
psychology.
than two teaming up. Then you have the dissension because each want the win. But it still wasn't great.
It's hard to buy into the psychology of a match when you've got clowns arsing about on commentary.
I don't mind
All
ICP's.
three of them.
Yeah, and Madden. I don't mind ICP's commentary, but I just think if you're them commentating on Sting and not just some fucking opening act where you can have the comedy or have that as the release valve for the show. Them commentating on one of your biggest stars and one of your main feuds.
Yeah, and then
What they're doing that
shitting
for? And them taking the piss out of it, really. Imagine they've been taking the piss out of
yeah.
it throughout the whole
I mean,
booking.
it actually was probably one of the plus points in the
Probably
whole
helped me
feud.
out.
So, But I'd take your point. I mean, on any other feud, there's no way the Fed would have had that shit.
Not on a serious feud like that.
No.
Sam, Triple Threat thoughts?
It was one of the better matches, as he said, but I just couldn't concentrate because of the fucking commentary.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been as bad if Hudson or Shivani was with him. At least I'd have saw the funny side.
Imagine Heenan with him.
Heenan would have just took his headset off and walked off. Because at this point he did not care.
Absolutely killed him.
Yeah,
if he was bothered.
If he was bothered, maybe they asked him, he just went, fuck that.
So that's that feud done and finished and forgotten. So Jack falls to ask, I suppose, highlight of the feud.
Oh, I don't know.
Bam Bam.
Bam Bam walking off.
Which week or not?
What was good? Probably the graveyard with "Who are you?" Which the "Who are you?" is a bit shit. But the "I'm the monster that you should have been." That little line, that 2 seconds.
Yeah. He should have
It's
said
the
that
only
at
bit
the
of the
beginning
feud.
or after when he costumed me.
That should have been.
This is what
we've feuded.
Yeah, this is why.
This is
I'm what you should. I'm the heel you should have been.
Completely. That was my highlight.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, we could easily.
I don't know what low.
The low part of
probably
the
the whole Great American Bash match.
Yeah.
The
Inferno, the Human Torch, whatever.
Unnecessary bump.
Yeah.
The first one, not the second one. The first one.
That
whole
thing.
thing.
That
the whole
summed up
thing.
where WCW was when no one popped for that. But
no, we're going to imagine if the Fed did that.
Or even a
people
murmur.
be moaning.
Yeah, I've got to go for that as well. I mean, you really, there's a lot to pick from, but that was the worst of the lot. MVP of the
God.
Bam Bam.
run.
How do you have an MVP of that?
I don't know.
Booker.
I said, yeah, that's probably fair.
Probably the hook. Because that hooked Booker's leg, and it had a lot of airtime. The hook.
It did.
So,
I was going to say Shivani for having to sit there and watch this shit and try and call it.
yeah, well, I'm going to go with the stuntman because he really took that.
He hammed it up.
Yeah. And then twat bag of the run.
Oh God! Everyone, every single person involved.
No, I think
whoever
there's one.
was the main booker,
Bro.
whether it was Bro, Russo,
It was.
or whether it was Sullivan.
It
I'm
was-
assuming it was Russo.
No,
It was.
Sullivan was outed early in 2000.
Well, Russo, because
Yeah.
it's just awful.
Yeah.
Gotta be
It's
Russo.
gotta be Russo.
Gotta be Russo.
Although I would put Sting Vampiro.
I know he does have a bit too...
Not Butter.
Yeah.
Butter was alright.
Hunter was okay.
Mutter
but
too
Dean
late.
was- Dean
I think the
was
language
terrible.
barrier helped Mutter because he didn't realise what was going on.
And then finally, obviously, I assume we all accept that this was a worthy edition. Of,
I actually don't think it was that bad. I was kind of looking forward to it when I watched it. I thought this is worse than I thought.
awful.
Terrible.
I suppose using Mr. Meltzer's rating, let's rate the feud with a star rating. Jack,
-5.
Sam.
Yeah, I'd say -5.
I can't find any redeeming qualities to this. Never before have you
Never
wasted so much talent.
On paper,
That
it looks
looks
really
like
suited.
Good work.
Now,
They
granted
could
that
have
they
done
don't
it
work
similar.
well together.
Not similar, but because it's completely different. But it could have been their version of like Kane Taker,
Yeah.
in a way.
Which is what
That's
I
not
think
the
they
one.
tried
To do, but they kind of
they did it so
They
long.
did 2 years of Kane v Taker in about 2 months or 2 weeks.
Didn't
actually.
work. It just did not
It
work.
should work
No.
on paper, but it doesn't help either that the two people that are portraying the characters don't mesh well together.
No.
I don't think they're really.
No,
good
the
on either.
matches weren't great.
No.
But I don't think Sting is as good as what people remember or
Couldn't
think
give a
either.
shit.
And
He-
certainly
when he's
Sting-
leading, I think he's bad. When he's got a leader with flair, obviously,
can
Yeah,
do it.
he's
good.
Yeah.
He can be better anyway, but I have an issue with Sting anyway. I think he's probably one of the most overrated main eventers there's ever been.
A bit controversial.
I just think when people give shit to the Ultimate Warrior because of his style, Sting had a certain style.
Yeah.
Okay, he had more of a work rate.
Yeah, but he did that. Yeah, that punch.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, that
little.
Not for me. Sting just did it for me. So there you go.
Lot of shit.
That wraps up the feud, but doesn't wrap up our episode as we rebook and reimagine the feud. It is down to us three now to individually take on the task to rebook Vampiro and Sting and do it better. So,
points or whatever. So, first thing, Vampiro cost Sting in the world title as normal.
Yep.
That's how it is. In the US title tournament, I would actually have Vampiro beat Sting in the semis. What would happen is Sting would go for the Stinger Splash. As he's about to run, the lights would go out, come back on, Sting is just lying on the floor, down. Vampiro covers him, and I would actually have Vampiro win the tournament. I would keep these away from this new blood millionaires nonsense because they don't really fit. Like Vampiro, he don't fit in that stable.
Well,
keep them away.
Stables
That was just nonsense anyway, so I'd keep them away from that. The Nitro after this, it is announced that Vampiro would fight Sting again at Slamboree for the US title because obviously they thought Sting really there was interference. He could have won that, so give him a title shot.
Yeah.
And at Slamboree, Sting again looks like he's going for the win. The lights will go out again. When it comes back on, Sting is down, but his face has got a bit of green on it, and this leads to later on.
Peas.
Not peas,
Mushy peas.
No mushy peas. No mushy peas. So Vampiro again retains.
Yeah.
I have made one specific note in capitals: no ICP or Demon. They are not involved in this. So that goes. On Thunder, I've not really put any dates because it's hard to try and get them done until the end. On Thunder, it is announced again that Sting would fight Vampiro again for the US in a First Blood match this time.
Yeah.
At the Great American Bash. At the Great American Bash, Sting would have Vampiro in a deathlock near the corner, and then Mutter would come through the ring, and he would blow his mist. That's where you see the green, where you realise that's where it's come from. It's Mutter that's been helping Vampiro out.
Yeah.
He would blow his mist at Sting, obviously, blind or whatever. They would both beat up Sting and cause him to bleed, so you'd actually see him bleed, not just turn up with a bit of jam on his cheeks. So you'd see him bleed, and Vampiro again retains. I'm trying to build Vampiro up. You have buried Sting in a way, but you've got to have Vampiro look credible.
The whole point of this should, but for me, has to be
Vampiro.
Sting is built.
Yeah, Sting's. Yeah. So you'd have Vampiro retain. This is where the story sort of tells off, but it comes back. On the 24th of July, because I was trying to keep it in chronological order, Sting would win a Battle Royal on that to face Booker T for the world title.
Yeah.
On the 31st of July, Vampiro and Mutter would cost Sting the world title against Booker T. So Booker T would help Sting beating up Vampiro and Mutter. At New Blood Rising, Booker T would then grant Sting a fair shot at New Blood Rising.
Yeah.
Sting would actually win the belt. Bearing in mind, Vampiro's still the US. Okay, this sort of intertwined there. Sting would win the world title, but at the end, Vampiro and Mutter would beat on both Sting and Booker T at the end.
Yeah.
The Nitro after, they announced the Full Brawl main events.
Yeah.
Which would be Sting versus Vampiro in a casket match for both belts, and Booker T v Mutter in a number one contenders match for the world title. So I'm trying to get the two linking in. At Full Brawl, Booker T would win, obviously getting back in that. I don't want to drag too much into the story.
You don't deserve this.
No, you don't deserve this problem. And Sting would actually beat Vampiro in a casket match because Mutter would go to blow the mist at Sting, he would move, he'd hit Vampiro, he'd throw him in the casket, and that's it. So Sting wins both belts to end that feud. So obviously because it stops at Full Brawl.
Yeah.
After on the night after on Nitro, Booker would win the world title from Sting clean to give Booker because Sting's a top star and obviously Booker T him on the building of the rise, so Booker would win that. Later on in like a few weeks, Steiner would beat Sting for the US because then that leads into the Steiner Booker and final match.
Steiner rises his theme.
Yes. Just because of that. And I'll put it, Vampiro and Mutter would lead WCW, because I think not long after this both had gone, and
Vampiro
so
would lead
basically after this casting match, that's sort of where Vampiro leaves the company. Mutter would just go as well, so that is how I would do it. weak at the end, but I had a plan to try and get Booker T and have a tag in.
No one caught fire and fell off a Titan.
No, I'm not Russo. Although the fantasy card.
We'll get to that. Jack, you want to go next?
Yeah. So, my rebooking, the Brothers in Paint team, for a while. Yep. We'll build them and they'll win matches, but I want Vampiro to start winning them by nefarious acts.
Is this a Sting leader from team like 85?
Posh. So, and they are entered into the tag title tournament at Spring Stampede.
Yeah. Okay.
They would win their semi-final match. Don't care who again.
I'm going to say
Chronic. Chronic. If it wasn't a Chronic, it's a Chronic.
In the tournament, that's what I know.
And Vampiro again wins by cheating. Right? They advance to the finals against. I originally put Totally Buff because I thought it was Totally Buff.
No,
it was Bagwell and Douglas.
Yeah, it was Flair's with Luger at this point. Carry on that.
Bagwell and Douglas. So they're in the final against Vampiro and Sting. They have a promo. And Mean Gene will ask about it, and Vampiro will say, you know, there's gold on the line, by any means necessary. Personal domination.
You got to do that.
Sting says, you know, he won't stoop to those levels, and neither should Vampiro, it should be clean.
Yeah.
So, the finals, Bagwell and Douglas beat Sting and Vampiro. Vampiro went 2 pages there. Because Vampiro turns on Sting.
Yeah.
The night after, Vampiro explains his actions and says that Sting isn't the dark vigilante that he once knew.
Yeah.
No, he was an up-throw.
Yeah.
He's gone soft, and Vampiro vows to make to wake the monster, wake the monster within him once again. At Slamboree, Vampiro vs Sting is the match. It ends in a DQ. I'm having DQs because why didn't
Wrestling.
Vampiro uses the bat on Sting. After the match, Vampiro washes the paint off of Sting. Right? And leaves him laying in the ring, no paint on, and he takes his bat.
Does he put Sting's glasses on when he always has when he don't have paint?
To cover his modesty, he leaves his glasses.
He just got glasses.
On Nitro, Vampiro explains the bat and paint were a smokescreen and to symbolise what Sting was and has become. By removing the paint and the bat, he's exposed the real monster inside. Okay. Which is not Sting, it's the man called Steve Borden.
Man called Steve.
So this is to write off Sting for a little while.
Yes.
I know it's Sting v Vampiro, but he's written off for a while. So Vampiro has obviously been built, so he now goes for the world title against Booker T at Bash at the Beach.
Vampiro
is my
win
champ
title.
Booker T.
I'll give him one belt.
versus Vampiro at Bash at the Beach. So we're having the match. The lights go out, and a figure is shown in the rafters. Who's that? It's obviously Steve. Is it Sting or is it Steve? And Vampiro loses to Booker, so Booker wins.
Yeah.
Which sort of gives Vampiro a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
Over the next weeks, Vampiro's matches and sort of promos are always distracted by this figure in the rafters. But no one ever sees his face because they don't put a spotlight on. On the Nitro, before New Blood Rising, Vampiro challenges Steve Borden, not Sting, not Stan, to a match that Sunday. Staring at the rafters. And a bat is dropped from the rafters into the ring.
One of them little rubber bats.
So you did this in the 80s.
Lights out. He did, yeah, that's where I stole it. The lights go out.
He's walking.
The lights go out and a crow is shown on the stage to signify his acceptance. New Blood Rising, Vampiro's out and he's waiting for Sting to stay. And he drops down from the rafters in a trench coat, a hat, and a mask. Right?
He's got a hat.
Yeah, he's got a hat. So he's slowly...
With a baseball cap.
No, not a baseball cap.
No, you keep that for the review later.
Like a top hat.
Stovepipe hat.
It's a taker hat. Yeah, I'll take him.
Oh,
so he slowly removes the coat, which reveals no scorpion moniker or anything. It's just a plain.
For some reason, I thought you just remove that review. No clothes.
Removes the hat.
Is he naked under the coat?
Slowly, Vampiro slowly edges towards him, and he removes the mask, right? Mm-hmm. And there's no paint. It is Steve Borden. He's got a full beard. I'm saying, grow a beard.
Grow your beard.
A full beard. He's looking dishevelled. He's looking broken.
Has he got a
broken sting? Broken sting. I've just realised the book broken sting. Delete Steve. Right. Yep. No scorpion. So they stare at Vampiro, who trash talks and talk up bollocks towards him. He edges towards him, and then Steve would grab him. Steve? His name's Steve!
Oh, his name's Steve!
It's Steve! Scorpion death drop. 1, 2, 3. No emotion, no reaction, no. Like, yeah, all that bollocks. Fuck that off. And he leaves.
Similar to when he was still in his red, when he had wax.
The next night, Vampiro comes out and he says he wasn't ready, but ultimately, he has won. Because he has awoken the monster.
Is he woken Steve now?
He has broken Steve, and the monster is alive. That's good. The week after, he calls out Steve and he says, I want to rekindle the tag team that once was the Brothers in Paint. Yeah, but no paint. Brothers with no paint. I'll wash my face, brother.
The Brothers in coats.
Steve, no, Brothers in hat. The brothers in hat. Steve no shows. Thunder, because I've got a book of Thunder. But he does the same. Nothing happened. This had happened for 2 weeks probably worth of TV, so for sure. And then the Nitro after, Vampiro come out pissed and not drunk, and demands that Steve faces him to answer, are we teaming with him or not, you bastard? And Steve descends from the rafters, hat, coat, mask. Vampiro, he's just standing there, all covered up. Vampiro explains that he wants the team with Sting and he don't react, with Steve, and he don't react and just stands there stoic. Vampiro gets more and more aggressive, more and more angry, and so instead of saying he wants the team with him, he challenges him to one final brawl and fall brawl in a falls count anywhere, no hold partner. Okay. But I have got this image in my head that Steve never takes the harness off, so he can go down, stand there. Have you all talking? They go like Poochie. Just the sense.
He goes up on his coat goes up and he's still stood there.
His hat goes up. So fall brawl. Vampiro comes out, blah blah blah, and then Sting comes down, Steve comes down from the rafters and all that, and then he slowly takes the hat and everything. He takes the coat off and he's got the Sting scorpion on
I was going to say, does he just say Sting?
He takes the mask off and he's all painted up and he can do his all that shit. He can be the Joker. Sting really is what I'm getting at.
You're just booking TNA with this.
Well, in a sense, but I'm trying to make it better. And then they have the match. Sting v Vampiro, but Sting is now more like of a monster than he should have been, in a sense. And I would put Vampiro over, but because he goes, I'd have to put Sting over, because Vampiro goes at the end, but I would put Vampiro over. Okay. And then I have to end there.
I can't deny that sounds much better than what they actually...
At least they've got a purpose.
To be fair, I think all three of ours would sound a lot better, to be honest. No matter how...
You haven't heard mine. That's mighty glasses. Well, you know what I do? This ends up building to Vince McMahon who killed JR.
That's fucking 10 years worth of stories.
Does this lead into Triple H v Sting at 31 at the end of the opening?
This clears up Beaver Cleage bitch beating up his missus and all. Thrasher has doinked.
So my
Vicky Ortiz is a Clayman.
My programme again would start actually in 1998. Back in 1998.
Jesus, Ben, how much you booking?
Yeah, sorry. My programme would start with Vampiro saying that Sting let WCW down back in 1998, and that the NWO would never have happened if Vampiro was the man that WCW turned to save them. And he says that he will bring out the evil in Sting. Sting would then start to be attacked by a bunch of enhancement talent, but they would all be crop-topped, blonde, and dressed as surfer Stings. So there was going to have loads of...
I thought that was going to be the payoff where Sting would come out back as his surfer one each game.
Well, I thought you was going to as well. I thought you was going to do that.
But I thought that's too fucking stupid. It gets away from the monster thing.
So Vampiro would then start to beat down Sting and tell him to unleash the dark force that's inside him.
Sting back as Wolfpack Sting with his
Sting would then be attacked by Mutter, who would be dressed in the same garb as he was wearing in the 1989 Starrcade match against Sting. So that would offset Sting here. It's a bit like the ghosts of my past are coming together.
Ghost of Christmas past.
This would unsettle Sting and Vampiro would take over, beating him down. In the weeks leading up to Spring Stampede, Ric Flair would save Sting from Vampiro and Mutter's attacks. And Vampiro would keep playing videos during Sting's promos or matches of all the turns that Ric Flair's ever done on in the past. And demonically keep telling him that Flair will turn on him. And then at Spring Stampede, Sting would walk out on Flair.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say Flair would turn on him.
I told you, but I thought I can't have Flair in the carnival. So yes, Flair and him would sort of bump into each other, and Sting would start to think, hang on, he's going to turn on me, so he'd bugger off and leave.
There's Arn over there. Oh no, I'm coming here.
And Mutter and Vampiro would pick up the win. And this would lead to tension between Flair and Sting in the upcoming weeks, and Vampiro would start to look like he's getting through to Sting, who's a bit more merciless in his matches. And it's Slamboree, Sting would lose after refusing to release the Scorpion Deathlock on Flair in a one-on-one match. A bit like Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler at SummerSlam. So he'll win by the sharpshooter, but won't release it. Sting would then start to be much more demonic, and Vampiro would start to talk him into challenging Flair into a graveyard match. Yes, Flair versus Sting in a graveyard match to finally bury the legend of Ric Flair, who has always haunted him. Vampiro. I keep calling him Vim. Vampiro and Sting would do skits now, and it would be a bit like Jake and Warrior, where Vampiro is training Sting in the graveyard.
I thought you meant at the end where Sting had buried Flair, and you just see Flair's head.
Good job! Just see Flair's arse. just done Flair's arse. Because he loves getting his arse out.
Would he blade?
Flair would accept the challenge, and at the Great American Bash,
I've got that image.
the match would end, yes it would, in a no contest, because I couldn't find another way. I know. Because Flair would be in the grave, and Sting would be hesitant to bury him. So Vampiro, Mutter, and the debuting Demon.
I thought you could say Vampiro, Mutter's. Mutter's so much to it.
Vampiro, Mutter,
and
the Demon would attack and bury them both. Because they ain't having Sting. Not
tag match player.
Yeah, well, it gets better. So the Dark Carnival would then proclaim that they are here to eradicate the darkness of the past and unleash a new darkness on WCW. So they start to beat down the original darkness in WCW, Nash and Hogan. Not all, because he's too drunk.
Yeah, he's pissed.
But they beat down Nash and Hogan in the coming weeks, and then they challenge them to a 6-man tag. A bash at the beach. 6-man tag. And Hogan would say that they've got a third man. For their match at the 6-man tag.
That's why the companies in the damn paper take
and obviously
bullshit like this.
Everyone would realise that Sting is going to be the third man. However, at the show, the third man never shows. until the end of the match when Hogan is doing the Macho Man spot and he's laid out, and Sting comes, but whose side is he on? Is what's been muttered. Not by Mutter. Vampiro now sees Sting and he isn't convinced that Sting's going to attack him, so tells him that Hogan was the one that turned on him. He's the one who brought out the demon in him in the first place. Take your side alongside Vampiro. But Sting would attack Vampiro and help Hogan clear out the carnival, and they would win 6-man tag. This would lead to New Blood Rising, where Sting challenges all 3 of them to a match, but Vampiro no-shows the match and Sting beats Mutter and Demon. And afterwards Vampiro sneak attacks Sting and busts him open. This would lead to a build for the Fall Brawl match, which would be a first blood match, because I think he's a vampire, so that's his match, which Vampiro would win in a back and forth battle. However, I had forgot that he left. Had I known, I would have put Sting over. But Sting would accept defeat in the feud, move on, and the two would have a mutual respect, as Vampiro believes he's finally given WCW the sting that it deserves. Do let us know which one you thought rebooked it better. I think 3 credible efforts there for rebooking it. Certainly better than the shit that we got.
Vampiro got some sort of comeback.
Yeah, but let us know on our Facebook page at facebook.com/BCC Pod. But head over to our Facebook page and you'll see competitions for free DVDs from previous episodes as well. Rolled out there, and there will be upcoming ones, so check out new episodes for new questions from Seth. Head over to Twitter at BCC Pod, where you will find our thoughts on the current product and what's going on, as well as our back catalogue there, and links to our website, which is bettercorecreative.com, which again contains the reviews from Jack and his blogs as well. As well as all our back catalogues, and we'll eventually have all of our rebookings there for you to vote on, as well as our back catalogue being uploaded to our YouTube channel, which you can find by searching for Better Call Creative. However, it is that time now where we head into the land of fantasy, and we book a 6-match card on a theme to do with today's episode. So today's episode was... Well, it was Vince Russo.
Yes.
So we took Vince Russo's booking and we said, right, we're going to have the craziest 6-match card that we can have, using people that were either created by Russo or certainly booked by Russo throughout his time at WWF, WCW and TNA. Jack, do you want to go first with your first match in this fantasy card?
My first match is a... well, I'll tell you the participants and then I'll say the match types, because obviously the match types will be the crazy stuff. It's the Harris Twins versus the New Age Outlaws versus the Misfits in Action. 82 AA Bothered. Okay. And the match is a blindfold, coal miner's glove on a pole, flaming tables match.
Bro.
You don't have to use the glove.
Well, the wall is his thingy's table, but he can't see.
And basically the wall is one of the MIA.
And
because you said any two.
Yeah.
Basically, one of them's got to be the wall.
One of them's got to be the wall. I'm going to put the Harris Twins over because they can do some twin thing. That's even more Vince Russo here. They can switch blindfolds.
Yeah, but they just have to see his tit. Which one's which?
Oh, he's got a marky tit. That's skull. But anyway,
there you go.
That was strange. See, my gimmicks are not as strange.
Oh, man,
but my first match would be Sean O'Ware, Chuck Palumbo, and Sean Stasiak versus the Brood in a flaming dumpster match.
Oh, okay.
The Brood would win.
Fair enough.
Brood.
My match would feature Vampiro versus Viscera. creation
So-
by Russo. But my match,
one of our players in this storyline is in the opening match.
yeah, it's not. It
Against
can't be
Nitro.
in the main event because the main event is so Russo. My first match would be a cage in a cell in a prison in an empty arena match.
Brilliant. No one there to see it,
The
brother.
Punjabi prison.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be a cage in hell in the cell inside a Punjabi prison, but with no one there in an empty arena. And I would put over Vampiro.
I don't think you'd have to advertise in an empty arena.
But what? You saw the kettle for an elbow.
Right,
That was bad enough.
Match number 2 is Goldust versus Shane Douglas. Don't ask me why. And the match is an Elevation X Brawl for All match.
So we've got to climb up.
They're going to climb up with boxing gloves and fight. And Goldust has got to wear shorts, Goldust, but he's got a painted face.
Does he wear like his gold thing at the top? Has he just got shorts on?
No, they're going to have a naked body, but shorts and painted face.
That's
That
brilliant.
is strange.
And for that, I'm going to put Goldust over because Shane Douglas
It's Shane Douglas.
is old and shit.
Old and fat and shit. Right, my next one would be Black Machismo versus Taka
I
Michinoku
like it.
in a Ultimate X cage match.
Okay.
So you have to climb up the cage, get the X, and then get out.
That's Russo. My match.
Oh, by the way, Machismo.
Oh, of course. My match is my most creative of matches, and I don't think Russo would have thought of it, but it's Ivan Putski on a pole. Ivan Putski is a pole.
Oh, I like that.
Pole on a pole. So it's Ivan Putski on a pole. That's brilliant. So a pole on a pole. Because he's so synonymous with a pole match. And it'll be Tank Abbott and 3 count versus the entire cast of Brawl for All.
It's like cats. No, it's only wrestlers. It's a cast.
I'm saying it was a cast, and I'm putting over Tank Abbott and 3 count. Maybe Tree.
I bet you. Is this the first match you were up doing?
That was the first match.
I bet
I thought
That's
I'm
brilliant.
going to have a pole match, and I thought, what about a pole and a pole? And then I thought, how about a pole and a pole in Poland?
What's his big match in Warsaw?
Brilliant, yeah. Just got. Oh, anyway.
It's going to be brilliant, bro. Oh,
Yeah.
Inception or what?
Yeah.
Match number 3 is Booker T versus The Rock.
Yep.
And it's a pinata on a pole Iron Man match. So you have to retrieve the pinata,
As many times
and
as
that's
anyone.
a point, and then it goes back up, and then you do it, and it's for an hour.
What if it just falls off like they used to?
I would have it as a draw because it's got to be.
It's got to be.
No contest.
Does Undertaker come out at the end? He's here.
No, he can come on his bike seat and then just turn around.
That happens. Taker comes out and does what's this?
Drives round the ring and goes back. Oh, brilliant.
Right, my next one would be a 14-man First Blood Battle Royal.
Jesus, son.
No, they actually did something like this in TNA where it was like a cage match and you could only pin somebody if they'd bled. And AJ Styles was in it, and I think that was the one Test was in.
AJ deserves
So
better.
the participants would be,
Oh my
and I
God.
tried to cover all 3 here. So you got Terry Funk, Tank Abbott, Steve Blackman, Norman Smiley, The Wall, Black Rain, Relic, Sanjay Dutt, X-Pac,
Sunday, do it.
The Demon, Al Snow, Big Boss Man, Hardcore Holly, and Wildcat Chris Harris.
Brilliant.
And I'd put Norman Smiley over.
They got an eye patch. Wildcat Chris
Yeah.
Harris with eye patch.
So
I was going to put Harris, but I thought I'd probably get confused and think it's one of the Harris twins, so I had to put Wildcat, so I know who it was.
Who would go? Sorry.
Norman Smiley.
Of course.
He'd just been doing that throughout, running away from Terry Funk.
Oh dear. So my
I
next
should
match.
put Ralph is his number 15 in it. There we go.
My next match, match 3 of my card, would be
My head.
David Flair versus Pat Patterson in drag versus Gerald Briscoe in drag in a monster truck of doom barbed wire match. where you have to push the monster truck into a wall, which is just a barbed wire, because I wanted to see the image of the tyre just gently coming
slowly, and you see the gradually sinking.
And I would put over Pat to the shop, showered by some monster trucks in drag. Oh dear. So Pat goes over.
Right, this match now. Match number 4 is Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles versus Steve Blackman versus Dan Severn versus Brian Knobbs. Right?
Fucking Knobbs.
This is a bull rope, last rites, one arm tied behind your back match. So you got one arm behind your back, your other arm is tied to a bull rope, which everybody's tied to, and you've got to put all 4 opponents in a casket.
You know what? I've just got the image because it's going to
So they're all like that.
yeah, because it's all like that. And it's going to be like 4 like. It looks like they should be dancing around a maypole.
Yeah, but you got to get him in a casket.
Oh.
And I'd put Jarrett over because he's his mate.
He's got to go out.
My next match 4, would be a triple threat, which is Triple H versus The Rock versus Steve Austin in a triple threat strap match, belt on a pole. It had to be a pole, and I thought I'll put a belt up there.
Yeah.
So they got some, but they're all stuck together with a strap.
They've all got to work together to get up the pole.
Yeah.
It's like an away day. Who's going over?
Rock.
Okay.
I'd put Rock over. Austin would take his ball and go.
Setting gender progression back 20 years, Vince Russo now has a bra and panties gravy bowl hog pen match.
Gravy pole?
Gravy pole. Well,
Gravy
pole.
pole?
Not on a pole.
Gravy
On a pole.
pole. Basically, that's all it could just be, or everything on a pole.
I should have had that. Every match on a pole. I should have had the monster truck on a pole.
What?
Amazing. So it would be a bra and panties gravy bowl hog pen match between Tori Wilson and Sable. Don't ask me how it works, but I would put over Sable.
Oh yeah, that was booked by him all that.
Yeah,
So I was thinking 2004, because surely Russo.
My match 5 is Stone Cold
This is a semi-main.
versus Heel Goldberg in a hair versus hair match.
Is it the beard?
Someone's beardless.
It might be that it's the reverse, so whoever loses has to grow their hair for a year.
Well, Russo does reverse battle royals and everything.
Exactly. So a reverse hair versus hair match. And I'd put over Austin.
My semi-main is Kane v Taker in an Inferno Hell in the Cell match. So it's a cell, but you call him the ring because it's on fire. I'd put Taker over because
Not the cell.
oh well, that's why they did Kane's Pyro, did they, at SummerSlam? Because of the chamber.
Proving that he absolutely hates Dustin Runnels. My next match is Goldust versus Black Rain versus Seven in a kennel from hell. King of the Road match. King of the Road on a truck. So it would be a wrestling rink. So
on like a battle right? There's a blue cage with the cell, and he's coming around.
And dogs.
And dogs as well, shitting and pissing everywhere.
I was going to say, well, if you turn the corner, is the cell going to fall off?
Brilliant.
But Dustin Runnels can't blade.
Can't blame, bro.
It's a no contest.
And I'm putting over Dustin Runnels.
So it's a battle forward on a
No, I'm going to put over Black Rain. Because Dustin Runnels will hate that.
Oh, he's already blocked. Doesn't he don't follow it?
Right, my main event is got to be Vampiro Sting. And it's a Human Torch, First Blood, Inferno, House of Pain match. Just combine them all.
Get them all together.
Get
Get it all over with.
Torch Inferno match, ain't that the same thing?
Well, no, because you're going to fall off.
And
then set it on fire over there.
like a cage that they've got to
You have a
escape, which is on
cage.
fire to get up on the top, so he
To
can
fall off and then burn him over on there and then make him bleed. And then chain him up. To then do some splashes. After he's been burnt and bloodied.
The greatest match in the history of our
It's the greatest show! And Sting's got to go over because Vampiro call win.
No. And my final match is Sting versus Abyss in a barbed wire casket match.
Oh, well.
That's more plausible.
You just basically you open the casket, you just loads of barbed wire there, and Sting's going over because I think Abyss is used to jumping into barbed wire.
Well, I wanted to sum up Vince Russo in my main event, which is Judy Bagwell versus David Arquette in a Viagra last rites match. So you had to lock him in the casket, but if you did, there's some Viagra in there. Would that mean that if David Arquette was in the casket, there's like a little dent in the Viagra?
Then you go shut the lid.
He's got to shut the lid.
Oh, they can slam it and he's looking hard on. Back on. Yeah, that's such a strong erection.
And because
of the belt.
Yes, WCW belt. And because of David Arquette's mighty cock, I would put over David Arquette.
Well, the Johnsons.
Yeah, the Johnsons. Man. There you go. Thank you, Vince Russo, for all the fun that you brought to us. Let us know which one of those matches gave you the biggest chuckle on our
pole on a pole.
Pole on a pole. Over Putski on a pole. It's an amazing image. Something that
just a little lumpy.
I feel inclined to draw.
No, but he wants to get it down.
So let us know at our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCC pod, at BCC pod on Twitter, and on our website, which is bettercallcreative.com. And of course, check out our YouTube channel as well. Episode 15 will be a start of a story arc as we revisit the Ultimate Warrior, starting.
Right. You've got to do that every time you say the Ultimate Warrior.
You know what, you're nearly dying.
You stop breathing. Which will feature on episode 15 the title run of Ultimate Warrior from 1990 to 1991.
1991, yeah.
Yep. And then we'll go forward from there, but we'll tell you what goody goods we've got for that run after. I have been your host, Ben Chance, with my brothers in paint, Sam Chance saying
goodbye,
and Jack Chance
goodbye.
Goodbye, folks. See you again soon.